Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Oh, that is comfortable.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!
What's up, guys? I'm Heston, and welcome to Room for Improvement, the show where we take college gamers and transform their living spaces into the ultimate gaming setup.
This is nuts.
Let's get started.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
And here comes Anthony Alfredo across the start-finish line, taking the white flag. Final lap. Nothing but clear sailing in front of him. And 5 car lengths separates him from second. Here it is, checker flag, and your winner, in dominant fashion.
Getting into PC gaming can be daunting if you don't have time, are on a budget, or are just starting out and don't know exactly what you're looking for. Thankfully, we just redesigned iBuyPower.com with a few tools to make everything easier for anybody trying to jump into a new PC. It's all about finding what's best for you. Let's start at the top. If you're just starting out and need a recommendation of what to look for, Easy Builder is the perfect choice. Enter in the type of games you really want to play, what you want to play them on, what platform you're thinking of, and how much you want to spend. Our system will track down the right system for your budget. And in case you need to make any adjustments, you can just click Customize and add a few tweaks however you see fit. Simple, straight to the point. But what if you need something more? You know your stuff. You just don't have the time to build a custom DIY PC from scratch. That's where Custom Configurator comes in. Choose from the newest, cutting-edge hardware on the market, and we'll build you your dream PC just the way you like it. We even have a section filled with extras just in case you need them. But what if you need a system now? You know your tech, and you just need a PC to play the latest and greatest thing that just came out. We got you. iBuyPower RDY systems are exactly for you. Featuring the same amazing part selection from our DIY configurator, these pre-built systems ship within 24 hours and are guaranteed to arrive on your doorstep as quickly as possible. You'll be ready for anything that comes your way. 3 different ways to build a PC, 1 simple way to do it. iBuyPower.com. However you game, we got you.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What do you see that no one else does? When you fall down, when you aim higher, when you build legacy, when you change history. No one knows what legendary looks like when they see it, until that moment arrives and they ask themselves, what do you see?
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!
What's up, guys? I'm Heston, and welcome to Room for Improvement.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the finals of ECAC Overwatch. My name is Keelan Miles, joined by Beatdown Boulevard, and today we have 2 amazing teams, the #1 and #2 seed, RPI and Johnson & Wales Overwatch.
And it feels like this was just the matchup meant to happen here, Kilo. Like you said, first seed versus second seed. In a minute, we can take a look at the bracket just to see how we all got here. But I think the thing to focus on at the moment is just like how stacked of a matchup we have here. We have RPI, of course, 2-time winners here at ECAC. And then we have Johnson & Wales, who just last week won out in their semifinals. It was a 3-1 scoreline, somewhat convincing, but when you're facing up against a powerhouse like RPI, I do hold some concerns on how well they're going to stack up tonight.
It's all about keeping your pedal to the metal, and we didn't see that completely from Johnson & Wales, but in their defense, can you blame them after magnificent performances from Falcon, from Nico, from Lermans coming in there on the main support? They didn't lose a fight. in their first 2 maps. Can you blame them for getting a little overconfident going into map 3?
Wow.
I can't. The thing is, I don't think RPI is going to let them get away with that. I don't think they're going to give them an excuse to let their guard down.
No, certainly not. And I really don't think the first map is going to go like it did last week for Johnson and Wales, especially given the fact that there's a chance they even lose that map instead of going 100-0 both times. So we can take a look at the bracket now just to, again, see where we came from, how it all started. And you can see how the path both of these teams took to get here. And I mean, if you look at it, if you look at the path, it's pretty convincing for the most part. I think one close game here for RPI. Nope, it's 3-0, 3-0. There was a term called 04 watch when the Overwatch League would make teams play 4 maps, and this is pretty much 03 watch. It doesn't work the same anymore. The joke's ruined.
And Johnson and Wales, they did get the opportunity to take down RPI's second Overwatch team, the B team. So obviously, you know, the main rosters coming in here for revenge here and now in the finals. After blowing through New York Tech, Stevenson, and Alfred State, RPI is looking unstoppable. And coming right off of their exams right now, they are roaring and ready to go to get into our first map.
No, I think that's the big thing there. Exams are done. You feel the weight off your shoulder, and you just want to be able to play that stress away. And that's exactly what the boys at RPI are going to look to do today. Exam season is done, almost done for them. Now they can play to try and get their 3rd championship here at ECAC, and we'll see if they're actually going to be able to get that one done. I think the main thing I'm most curious about is what compositions are we going to see today. Last week, we saw Johnson and Wales. We knew about them beforehand as well, thinking that they would bring out some interesting compositions, but it seemed like it was very default, very standard. May McCree, Reinhardt, Diva. That's all we saw start to finish with very little exception. And now as we go into the grand finals here, are they going to try and mix things up? We know they got mixed up on last week by their opponents with the double shield compositions. Maybe they'll employ that for themselves to try and get the drop on RPI.
Getting ready for the game is important. And you want to know one of the ways you can get ready to game? Well, you can enter the giveaway we are doing right now at the bottom of the screen. You can see that little link blinking right when the HyperX logo changes. We're giving away a HyperX prize pack valued at $150. It got a Cloud Silver gaming headset, an Alloy FPS Pro mechanical gaming keyboard, and a Pulsefire FPS gaming mouse. And all you need to do is go to that link that is blinking down below us to enter. So make sure to do that. Get the top quality gaming gear, because you know that's what these players are playing on.
That's absolutely right. Give it a shot. I mean, I'm not told casters can't enter, so, you know, maybe Kilo, we should take a chance at it ourselves. I don't know if they actually ship to Canada, so if I win, maybe it will be meaningless, but I would still like to try my luck, you know? Maybe I need a new keyboard. Maybe I do.
I mean, I know I do, but...
Do you?
If
I win, I'll give it to you. How about that?
Oh, thank you, Beatdown. But I know
I got you.
Right now, I'm not the one who really needs the highest quality gear. That would be Johnson and Wales coming in here on our first map as we're getting ready to go in now, because, again, this is a 2-time championship team that you're going up against.
Right.
The mere pressure alone would scare a lot of players, but then they also have to deal with the fact that RPI has earned that title too.
Yeah, there are no pushovers. Control, in that kind of game mode where both sides are attacking. I'm going to try and ignore the compositions we're seeing, because remember, Kilo, we talked about this last week. It's fake until they walk out of spawn. So instead, we're just going to talk about how this map in particular here is interesting in that even though a lot of maps usually employ default compositions, this is one of the few maps where you see a lot more airborne heroes come through. Your Pharahs, your Echoes, and if RPI don't swap things out, we're going to have Cake running that Echo, and I have not been baited. They walk out of the spawn on it, so can be able to maneuver in and out of these buildings, but it's looking like Johnson and Wales get first dibs on the
and they're going to be able to stay rooted in there. It's going to be hard to really dive them, but they really give RPI a chance to just pick and choose where they want to fight. Sure, they might give up a bit of percentage, but does that really matter in the long run if you get the capture? You see Johnson and Wales giving a lot of respect. They're waiting for Z-Hobo to get out of position so they can rush him down, but slowly but surely RPI is taking space until RJ goes down. Now, that's a lot of the main damage out of the way, and without that Reaper, you know Falcon's gonna get aggressive, rushing down these supports and getting the first capture for Johnson and Wales.
It's so hard when you lose one of your big damage sources in RJ that you are just bound to fall apart on this point here. Rope with all the turrets as Symmetra makes it so difficult for RPI to really get the foothold that they're looking for. And because of it, RJ has no ultimate charge ready here. The only thing to really play with is that nano boost and of course the copy here, and we are going to see it come through. It's Zarya.
Immediately duplicating up the Zarya, looking for the early grab, but the Ant Matrix keeps them from getting too aggressive as the high noon from the back from Shinobu is going to make it tough. Falcon is going to fall early right there, as now without the main tank, Johnson and Wales, they're trying to stay aggressive, they're trying to keep their hold of the point with this grab, but it only buys time, and time is not enough to stop RPI, as they are going to take the point. And we are aware, by the way, that we are trying to get the technical difficulties worked out, but don't you worry about it. We'll get the action to you right away.
Yeah, and it's too bad they couldn't hold on to the point here, but it's looking like Johnson and Wales are going to come right back here, Kilo. They're going to be able to immediately flip capture back in their favor, and they're just taking right back. RPI only got 15%, and it's looking like we have a pause. You hate to see it.
Yep, right there, and then I believe the kill feeds were off. It felt a little hollow. It felt like no one was dying, but you looked around, you saw the bodies on the ground, and you're like, ooh, maybe something's a little bit off there. So we're getting that all straightened out, but right away, what I was seeing is some really solid defensive play from Johnson and Wales while they were on the inside, but the moment RPI forced them to come out of their shell, they were, I mean, fresh meat.
And the thing that's I think the only real knock there on Johnson and Wales is that they lost control of point for a second here. You know that's a really expensive fight already for RPI, so it's nice that they try to commit that Symmetra ultimate, try and hold on to the point and just see what more resources you can actually get out of RPI. Them winning the fight and flipping it back does make up for it, though, and it just seems like they're in complete control so far here in Lijiang Tower in the first round of it, because they are just doing such a good job at really controlling space on the point. They teleport in as Symmetra so that they have perfect setup, and they have turrets all over the place and so much damage coming through, as well as really doing a good job at managing their shielding, because I didn't see the Reinhardt shield break even one time.
Yeah, Falcon was a standout player from last week for sure, given Illinois Wesleyan a very tough run of it, because they had A, solid defense, and B, I think the tank line of Johnson and Wales is probably one of the main highlights. The way Falcon and Nico would just rush people down, not give them any room to breathe. I mean, Nico alone. Nico was the off-tank on Johnson and Wales, and the hyper-aggressive play that Nico puts out means they're getting early picks sometimes more often than the DPS on Johnson and Wales.
Yeah, and that's really a really crucial thing for them to get there, Kilo, because now, especially on control, it's only a matter of time before you end up losing that fight, and bleeding time is really the best thing you can do when you have capture percentage here. Problem is, when RPI get on there, they don't hold for too long, and realistically, they just end up getting wiped again, and we're not sure if we're going to see a comp swap come out for them. They've already given away so much time over, and you have to think about the ult charge you sacrifice when making switch ups like that, especially because you are not able to actually get any reasonable ult charge, or rather ultimates off, before the final fight there when you're about to trigger overtime.
And we'll see if that overtime does come out as we're just working out these final little solutions here. We're going to cut to a quick break. When we return, the grand finals, RPI versus Johnson and Wales, will continue, so don't go anywhere.
ultimate gaming setup.
This is nuts.
Let's get started.
What sound experience would you like to have?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ECAC Overwatch Finals. Johnson and Wales and RPI, rather. After a couple technical difficulties, we're going to be restarting the first map, get a fresh start. All the kinks worked out. Now we're ready for the real game beatdown.
Yeah, everything that happened was just a practice, the warm up. It wasn't actually meant for our eyes, anybody's eyes. And well, now that the problem has been solved, we're just going to go back to the real map. I mean, okay, we're mostly joking. We had a problem with how the lobby was set up, so we are just we're just going to start from the beginning, but this time control center.
And now I would be very, very shocked if we saw RPI roll out on this dive composition they seem to like. I expect to see Z-Hobo sticking on that Ana. It's their signature hero. It has been for years. It was their signature hero when they won the previous ECAC season. So, yeah, that's no surprise. What is the surprise is on control center, look at this comp.
May Doomfist is definitely once a really popular composition here, and it there's a lot of value to be had here in the fact that you can basically rocket punch people into a May wall. Swine on the signature wrecking ball pick when he's very comfortable on him on a map like control center. You know he's looking to sow some chaos.
But that's an immediate massive anti-nade. They got Z-Hobo on the high ground, but despite that initial advantage, Johnson and Wales holding on. Nico coming out here at almost max energy with the 3K. Just when Johnson and Wales need it, they get the first cap once again on control center.
And Nico on the signature Zarya that he showed us so many highlight plays on last week is something he is bringing out to treat us once again here, Kilo. 60% to that ultimate, and we have a potential back cap coming through here, but Johnson and Wales probably aren't going to let that happen, right? Okay.
Yeah, but they did have to give up their entire forward hold to do it. The Maywall, though, does buy a bit of tempo back into Johnson Wales' court. Now the initiation is going to come out. Urban Cake getting that Reinhardt Ditto going on as... Ooh. Going down so early. The dive is clean right there. Urban Cake, they have the Shatter online. They use it to cancel out the grab. Johnson and Wales struggling to hold on under the double Reinhardt right there as RPI gets flipped and they're looking to hold on to it too.
Oh, the nano boost was so big, keeping Cakes alive when he was copying Falcon's Reinhardt, allowing him to actually get that Earth Shatter off. And this time it wasn't too costly of a fight for them. Did cost 2 support ultimates, so they need to be careful with how this next fight goes. Because Johnson and Will have a lot of tools that they want to use, and they're just going to be able to block on this one.
once again, RJ goes down early to Nico. That's going to hurt. It's not going to have anything to really mitigate Falcon from going wild, except, of course, Daddy Crow's coming in here on this Primal Rage Winston, getting Nico out of position for Cake to finish off. Now Lermans is able to punch Shupak, but I don't know if that's enough as Falcon duels the Reaper in the high ground. RJ gonna win out on that one. The shotguns are just too powerful, as despite the early pick, RPI hold on.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, Johnson and Wales are being very reserved with their ultimate usage, and this is often a pattern we see with them. It seems like they want to get more utility out of RPI in terms of ultimates before they actually really commit to a fight here. But now they have to watch for RJ. Death Blossom is ready to go. We've seen this play before.
Death from above gets rid of both supports on the side of Johnson and Wales, and without that healing, the rest of the team crumbles as RPI gets a clean, quick fight win.
Oh, this is much unlike how the first go of Lijiang Tower has gone. RPI are in complete control here, and all of Johnson and Wales waiting has only served to give RPI the opportunity to finish this round here, as we are in last fight territory. The only thing Johnson and Wales have going for them is that they have quite a few ults. We got to keep an eye on Nico.
And they're keeping an eye up on that high ground.
He missed.
Dropping that Blizzard as soon as RPI goes down, as the Doomfist duplication doesn't work out in their favor. Gonna lose that form, but look how low Falcon is. The immortality field from Circle is the only thing keeping them in it, and that bit of extra life is benefiting them a ton. Z-Hobo goes to the high ground to try and salvage this point, but at 99%, it looks like RPI is going to give it up. Just the cleanup kills coming out now as Johnson and Wales gets the flip.
Really unfortunate. Z-Hobo gets staggered a little bit there, but overall, this ends up being now an expensive fight for Johnson and Wales. Sertle gets the Amplification Matrix back up, but look at RPI. Primal Rage is going to be up soon. Proximity Mines are almost up. Shupak will have that Valkyrie, and of course Swine once again on this back half can actually cause a lot of problems with this ultimate. Oh, that aim!
The minefield to isolate Lermans. They skate away from danger, but now the rest of the team doesn't have the speed boost.
Oh, the pin!
Back. Falcon charges them right into the minefield, takes so much damage right there. And Swine's minefield has completely broken the formation of Johnson and Wales University. They're trying to salvage some sort of defense. Nico is there, the clutch god on the Zarya, but come on. 1v6, you know that's never going to happen as RPI get the flip. Now trying to charge back the point, but Falcon cannot make it as RPI get the first point on Lijiang Tower.
And it felt like they were in control most of the time there. That reserve playstyle from Johnson and Wales unfortunately did not serve them the same way it did when we did that first run of Lijiang Garden before we had to reset the lobby. Now, RPI were able to win out on a lot of those fights simply because of A, they were able to split Johnson and Wales with Swine always threatening the back cap, and B, you have RJ just doing so much work on this Reaper, someone you have to respect if you're Falcon, but you combine that with the fact that Cake was playing Echo, you have so much damage coming from other sources, it just wasn't something they could actually overcome here. Now, we're switching things up. It is going to be made Doomfist at the start again for RPI as they speed their way to the point, and they are going to get there before Johnson and Wales.
Yeah, the Maywall doesn't get an isolation right there for RPI, but it does get them point control, as that initial presence gives them a defensive advantage. Johnson and Wales, they're poking, seeing if they can find the crack that lets them in, but with RJ finding that shot on a circle, it's not looking optimistic for me. The main tank goes down as well as Shinobu searches for a weakness, but they're going to meet a fist to the face as RPI is set to get the first capture.
And Cake has done so well so far on this Doomfist. Being able to dodge the McCree flashbang is the biggest thing when you're playing this hero, and Shinobu wasn't able to really catch him with that when he went for that initial rocket punch. And that's the thing they gotta look for at this point if you're gonna play the main McCree here. Amp Matrix is already up.
And they know Nico has a tendency to push forward like that. So they drop the Amp Matrix, the double damage, burst down that Zarya before the bubble can even come out. Johnson and Wales now full reset after that one pick.
Yeah, and it's so tough on maps like this. The way they're holding the choke like that, as soon as you lose someone, you have to back out and wait for the full 6. I like this pathing. Go up to the top side and try and get the drop on RPI. The question is, can they actually get what they're looking for here? Because our RPI can just back up and hang around the corner like you currently see them doing. Falcon has the Earth Shatter to play with. This one is going to have to be a big one.
Yeah, they start on the high ground and buy enough time to build that Blizzard. Now they have that crucial fight-winning tool, looking to use it to end it now, but the Immortality Field is there as Coit drops down from above. They're going to try and get punished to defend their team, but Johnson and Wales isn't going down without a fight. Shinobu, the McCree, is here, getting the cleanup that their team needs, looking for that third kill, but it will be Nico stealing it in the end. Zobo will be taking them down too, but this is actually quite a big stall coming out right now from RPI. It's possible they might not even lose the
shoot
fourth with how
back.
much time that may buy. They're already up to almost 80% after that.
And that's great. It's so close to one fight territory, Kilo. And the thing is, well, props to Cake for recognizing that they lost their Mei so early they needed to get a trade back. The only reason they stalled that long is because of a play like that. Now, a lot of ults ready to go. They are going for this retake.
Shinobu, though, getting the early pick, trading Zarya for Zarya, and the defenders, they're looking to use that advantage a little bit more off of the Immortality Field to get aggressive and get the team wipe on RPI.
And that's really crucial, especially because of the ult advantage that they carried on the side of RPI. We talk about Nico and we look for his clutch plays. Well, that ended up being a very big Graviton surge. The thing is, though, Johnson and Wales still have a tough hill to climb. They have a lot of catching up to do as RPI are just going to sneak around the side here because they know they just need to clip this point and they almost win the round.
Got my eyes on Rogue right now, but the
Oh,
Shatter is
big.
the real winner. 4 down, and even though Showback is going to get the kill, whew, trading 1-for-1 right there, as it's looking like full resets after the Blizzard comes out. Falcon, quite a play.
And this is getting harder. It feels like RPI's composition is a little harder to play when you don't have the point in your favor there, specifically for Urinal Cake on this Doomfist. Now, he has to be the one moving into unknown territory, and that's when you have Shinobu hanging out with the backline, threatening that flashbang. And you can see it's affecting the way he wants to play here. He almost has that Meteor Strike, so we're getting close to a point where he can get super aggressive. The only reprieve is that Johnson and Wales don't have an ult to play with, but they keep getting these picks, Kilo.
Shinobu and Rogue, the long-range danger right now, as they can't really go out to punish the 5v6 because of the Ant Matrix, but this doesn't really matter. They're still buying time and up to 95%. This is the last chance for RPI to get in there, so it's going to be a full commitment. Starting out with the Immortality Field used early, the charge in. So many commitments and no kills at all for the side of RPI. As now the grab, they got the high noon. They have all the tools to close this out. Can RPI come back after that high noon? I'm not thinking so, beatdown, as that will be the Blizzard. Their last chance, their last breath of fresh air, and Shupak uses the space made to get rid of Shinobu from the back line. An opportunity here, but I don't know if it's a big enough one as Lermans gets the boop to finish off their Lucio counterpart and ties up Lijiang Tower 1-1.
Yeah, that's a much better round coming out here from Johnson and Wales. It was touch and go for the first little bit, but once they get control, like I said, continuing to play that Doomfist is very difficult for Urinal Cake, as he isn't able to get the entries that he might want to get. And when you think about the couple of fights where Johnson and Wales, whether it's Robe on the Mei, Shinobu on the McCree, they find an early pick before RPI can come through. The poke from range was so crucial. Even in that last fight, you might have seen it. Z-Hobo used the Immortality Field before they even got to point. That has a long cooldown, so to not get one of the biggest things in his kit in such a crucial fight was part of why Johnson and Wales play that one so well. And now we are doing the run back of Lijiang Garden as we're seeing the same comps we saw previously, and we are going to see Johnson and Wales get to the point first once again.
Swine got a lot more aggressive there, though. A bit of disruption to buy some time for RPI to get into position, but still, they're not quite able to take point control. 10 seconds left before they have to engage to avoid giving up percent. Looking for their opening now, but Shinobu not looking to give it up. They got the iron sights on. They're looking for the kill. The bubble goes down to stop any more follow-up, but the flashbang isn't enough to stem the aggression for too long. They need something more substantial than that. As you can see, Shinobu chasing after Swine. An opportunity to get that first pick, as neither team is willing to give up this initial point. Shinobu, they got the nano boost online. We've seen this be a fight turner in the past, and especially with that nano boost
already?
The anti-nade, there's an opportunity. RPI has forced Johnson and Wales off the point, but the amplification matrix coming out gives them the window back in for a second beatdown.
And it's insane. Finally, the delicate balance has broken. However, Daddy Phil will be resurrected again. And still, the kills going in favor of Johnson and Wales. The ultimates are starting to pour out here as RPI finally start to fall apart. And finally, a minute later, Johnson and Wales capture the point.
Took a while, and RPI was a little bit more conservative with their ultimates. Got 3 right there, specifically the tank ultimates and the Death Blossom coming up. The sound barrier being gone is crucial, though.
Yeah, it was an expensive fight if we look at the economy here for Johnson and Wales, but they still have that Symmetra ultimate. That's the big thing they can play towards just to buy time and even potentially to be able to nullify some of the damage from that Death Blossom there from RJ. But we're going to see how it plays out as it's coming through.
Sends from above, Cake looking for an opportunity as they get the shatter onto their opposing Reinhardt just as they lose the form. Nico, though, fighting Daddy Phil's, I think that's a little bit more valuable, as under the pressure of that Symmetra shield, RPI aren't really able to find a good way to engage. Almost halfway there, and RPI can't find a way onto the point.
And it feels like a lot of it is Chernobyl on this McCree. They can't really get on top of them, and when they do, he has so much peel. You think of Lucio healing, speed boost, his own mobility with his roll, and even the immortality field. It's so difficult to actually get any meaningful damage onto the carries of Johnson and Wales here. RPI feels like the comp might not be working out from damage-wise, but let's see. We have the Nano Monkey coming through.
But they're trapped in a black hole right there as they left their back line open, and Shinobu is happy to capitalize. Both tanks and the Mercy. You know the entire team's in the drink for that one. Now, last fight territory. What can RPI put together?
Oh, it's not going to be a whole lot here, Kilo. It is going to be close to a proximity mine and the Valkyrie available for this RPI squad. It's going to have to be a big engage from Daddy Phil, but of course, oh, that's a big pit.
Ooh, we're talking about a big engage. This might be just what they needed. Is this looking like a clean fight right now? They're not giving up much health, much cooldowns. Only the Valkyrie committed. A huge opportunity for RPI to hold on after the flip here, but Johnson and Wales, they have an opportunity to build up every ultimate if they so choose.
Kilo, but you said it right there. The only ultimate used was the Valkyrie. That was very reserved from RPI, but very necessary, because being able to cycle through ultimates is how you overcome these tough scenarios of 0 to 99%, and now they have to win a handful of fights to actually overcome here. The question is, do Johnson and Wales use the sound barrier, or do they stack ultimates?
That's the minefield coming out right there. Swan goes so low, has to retreat to the Mega Health Pack, but the positioning they left behind thanks to the minefields isn't up as Hobo. They get 2 kills on the Ana right there as the rest of the team resets.
And again, beautiful ultimate uses there from RPI. 2 ultimates a fight is all they can really afford to spend while they are trying to make this climb. So the fact that even with minuscule HP, Daddy Phil doesn't use the Primal Rage is so crucial, because now we have that available, the Nano Boost, and still RJ's Death Blossom. This is starting to look possible for RPI.
But just one mistake. That's all Johnson and Wales need to surge in here. As you can see, they're spacing for it right now. They got the Shatter online. They're building to the Ant Matrix. And of course, we've seen Cawtawba be deadly with this high noon as they let it loose through the Ant Matrix, just baiting somebody to come out there. No one's going to fall for it, but they do cancel out the Nano Boost because, well, RJ's not getting aggressive through that. Now, on the board, Johnson and Wales finally make it to the point. They just have that sound barrier online, but they use it too late to save Turtle as the entire team goes down to take 5.
Oh, the grab!
Shatter. The grab comes out now from Nico, but there's not a lot of follow-up. Just the charge through that takes out Shoepack, and now 93% of the board. The complete reversal beatdown.
They finally made it happen. RPI are patient with their ultimates. They're patient with their economy. And they are going to be able to overcome this deficit here. And the desperation may come through from Johnson and Wales. But you can see the kill feed, everybody. There's no shot that RPI are losing here.
Yeah, catch and stall here is right now. Beat down. You came so close if you're Johnson and Wales, dancing on the knife's edge between victory and defeat, but ultimately that one last fight in overtime where you had RPI on the ropes, you couldn't finish them. And RPI, you know they're coming out with a second win after that, getting the play of the game, getting the first point on the board in the grand finals, and sending a message that Johnson and Wales can't slip up at all if they want to win.
Yeah, and that's, wow. The fact that they had such a strong start here, even on the first run before the reset, Garden looked really good for the side of Johnson and Wales, and the fact that they still could not be able to get it done on the replay here shows that RPI are here to play. That kind of comeback with how, again, they cycle through their ultimates, the discipline in which they displayed on the side of RPI is something to really fear, because those are difficult comebacks. They might have done it as we called for it and made it look easy, but that is not something we can see a lot of teams do, especially at the collegiate level. So we got to give some respect to RPI for making plays like that. And this is what it takes to win the ECAC 2 times here. And again, they are looking for 3.
And I gotta give a lot of the credit right now. My tank bias coming out, but the amount of space Swine was making with so little was amazing, especially when they were playing Wrecking Ball on maps where you don't usually see him. The minefields from Swine, I can count, I think 4 times on my hand that Swine single-handedly won a fight by setting up a minefield either in the center or right behind the enemy team, and then the pincer closed. The other team had nowhere to go. Johnson and Wales just crumbled under the pressure that Wrecking Ball was putting out.
That they did, and it's really difficult now to kind of recenter yourself mentally. It's not possible, but if you are Johnson and Wales, you feel like that round was in your control, Kilo. You know, you've been in those situations. You're playing, you guys are at 99%. Oh, you lose a fight, it's okay. We have ults, we have time bank advantage, we can come back and get it done. But to actually end up losing that round and going on to the next, that's a shot to the mental right there. And that's going to be a big thing we need to see from Johnson and Wales. What's it going to take to regain? How are you going to actually come back into this one? And we said it last week, and I'm sure people say it all the time. Control is a different beast, so this might not be reflective of what we see in other game modes, of course, but still the onus now is going to be on Johnson and Wales to be able to show us what they're going to be able to do.
And Johnson and Wales looking to gain control outside of the control game mode. And Beatdown, you know what can give you some more control over your gameplay?
No, what?
A Lenovo Legion monitor, of course, because they know you play to win. To stand out from the competition, you need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and actions so you can properly control them. You know, mind, hand, body, that sort of thing. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers wins in the toughest, most critical situations in the grand finals of ECAC. That's exactly what this is. With its extreme 1 millisecond response time to its insane 240 Hz refresh rate, the Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but does a whole lot more. It's built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level, like this one. The Legion Y25 offers a 24.5-inch FHD IPS panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync. We talked last week how important that G-Sync is, Beatdown.
Yeah, we did, dude. Screen tearing is no joke. Once you have G-Sync, I promise you, you will never go back. Real quick, Kilo, I'm loving this monitor. Where can people get it? Where can I get it?
Oh, you can, of course, get it at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. So make sure to check that out. Support the stream, support our sponsors, and get yourself a nice monitor while you're doing it.
Well, there you have it, guys. We're going to go to a really short break as we set up for game 2, but don't go anywhere. RPI and Johnson and Wales coming right back.
The minefield to isolate Lermans. They skate away from danger, but now the rest of the team doesn't have the speed.
Oh, the pin.
Falcon charges them right into the minefield, takes so much damage right there. And Swine's minefield has completely broken the formation of Johnson Wales University. They're trying trying to salvage some sort of defense. Nico was there, the clutch god on the Zarya was there, the clutch god on the Zarya, but come on. 1v6, you know that's never going to happen as RPI gets flipped. Now trying to charge back the point, but now he cannot make it as RPI gets first point on John. Now, down well as Shinobu searches for a weakness, but if he misses the base, his RPI is set to get the first capture.
And Cake has done so well so far.
Like when he was to use it to end it now, but the immortality field is there as Cody drops down from above. They're gonna try and get punished to defend their team, but Johnson Wales doesn't go down without a fight. Shinobu, the McCree is here, getting the cleanup that their team needs, looking for that third kill, but it will be Nico stealing it in the end.
Wait a minute. Now, a lot of ults ready to go. They're going for this retake.
Getting the other pick, trading Zarya for Zarya, and the defenders, they're looking to use that advantage a little bit more off of the immortality field to get aggressive and get the team
They can win the round.
Got my eyes on Rogue right now, but the
Oh,
Shatter is
big.
the real winner. 4 down, and even though Showback is going to get the kill, trade 1-for-1 right there. As it's looking like a full reset to close this out. Can RPI come back after that high noon? I'm not thinking so. Beat down, as that will be the Blizzard. Last chance, the last breath of fresh air, and Showback uses his base made to get rid of Shinobu from the back line. Opportunity here, but I don't know if it's a big enough one as Lerman gets the boot to finish off their Lucio counterpart and ties up Lijiang Tower 1-1.
And it's insane. Finally, the delicate balance has broken. However, Daddy Phil will be resurrected again. And still, the kills going in favor of Johnson and Wales. The ultimates are starting to pour out here as RPI finally start to see how it plays out as it's coming through.
Sends from above, Cake looking for an opportunity as they get the shatter onto their opposing Reinhardt just as they lose the form. Nico, though, fighting Daddy Phil, I think that's a little bit more valuable. It's under the pressure of that symmetry shield.
We're gonna know Monkey coming through.
But they're trapped in the black hole right there as they left the back line open, and Shinobu is happy to capitalize. Both tanks.
We have the engage from Daddy Phil, but of course, oh, that's a big pick.
We're talking about a big engage. This might be just what they needed. As this is looking like a speed fight right now. They're not giving up much health, much cooldowns. Only the Valkyrie committed. A huge opportunity for RPI to hold on.
Big
Now, on the board, Johnson and Wales finally make it to the point. They just have that sound barrier online, but they use it too late to stay circle as the entire team goes down to take 5.
Oh, the grab!
Shatter. The grab comes out now from Nico, but there's not a lot of follow-up. Just the charge.
There's no shot that RPI are losing.
Yeah, stall here is right now beat down. You came so close if you're Johnson and Wales, dancing on the knife's edge between victory and defeat, but all. Welcome back, everybody, to the ECAC Grand Finals. Right now, RPI are up 1-0 over Johnson and Wales, but definitely a close 1-0 right now, as Johnson and Wales put up one heck of a fight beatdown.
Yeah, they sure did, and they really, for a little bit, looked like they were actually going to be the ones to come out on top on Lijiang Tower, but that's not actually the case, as RPI put up a beautiful hold on the brink of overtime where they were about to lose the round and the map. And being able to actually mount that comeback really speaks to how they were able to get 2 separate championships here at ECAC and how good these players are, not just mechanically, but also mentally. To be able to make these kinds of comebacks is certainly no small feat. And speaking of mentally now, the question kind of does end up being on Johnson and Wales. How are they doing after that map? Are they regained? Now we're going to the map of their choice, and once we find out what that is, so will you. And the thing just ends up being, will they be able to actually come back on their map pick? This is a best of 5, first of 3 games, of course, but imagine going, not only losing a close map, but losing your map choice and getting your backs against the wall at a match point scenario there. That would already be really tough here in the grand finals.
That's the kind of thing you want to avoid, because Johnson and Wales last week, when they got full held and then fuller held the enemy team, they proved that they have a good mental game. But the issue is, how good is your mental game now? Because that was one loss when you were already winning. How are you going to stay in it now when you're up against the best of the best, the two-time champion? That is the question that we keep harping on.
That's right. It's going to be a difficult one. I'll have a better idea once we find out what map we're on. But I think the interesting thing too is my eyes are on Nico. I think we saw some pretty solid plays from him earlier on the Zarya, but we in last week's game saw like some mammoth of games coming out for him. We're finding out now that we are going to be on Rialto, so there's a good shot he will be on that Zarya again, and we are going to see RPI on the defender side first. So how we're going to get the start off here for Johnson and Wales, I think is going to be super important. How's their offense going to start? Are they just going to go for a default? Are they going to try and mix things up? Because of course, Escort, you can kind of mess around with things a little bit, mess with the formula.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, Beatdown. You know how I'm hearing you? On my HyperX headphones, and you can get some of those too if you enter the giveaway right down there in the link that's going to pop up below me any second now. Type that link in, go to the giveaway page. We're giving away $150 of HyperX merchandise. We got a Cloud Silver gaming headset, a keyboard, and a Pulsefire gaming mouse, so make sure to check that out as we are getting into the game now. Like we said, we're going to Rialto. This is where we saw some miracles happen last time, Beatdown. The Fuller hold. Can they make it happen this time?
Yeah, it could happen. Maybe such a miracle isn't going to be required, though. I think ideally you do get the first checkpoint on Rialto if you are Johnson and Wales, and since they are on the attacking side first, we'll see if they're going to actually be able to do that. I'm most curious about what they're going to play compositionally, as if we look at the defense, I think going for some sort of multi-shield composition is not outside the realm of possibility. We saw Johnson and Wales do it last week. The Reinhardt with the Sigma was something they found a lot of success in to make that Fuller hold possible. Can I just say I'm really glad that's catching on? I love that. Thank you, Kilo.
But it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that, as I still think the Zarya is a key component, one of the main puzzle pieces in Johnson and Wales' beautiful picture they're making for us. Because Nico has simply seemed unstoppable at times. We've seen our RPI fully punish that once. But in most scenarios, Nico has still been getting massive value. But we'll see just how much value they get when they're going to be getting right out of bed immediately into a trap.
Well, we've seen this before. I believe Johnson and Wales were actually the ones who attempted it last week in the semifinals. Now they're going to be on the receiving end, but I like this. RPI are waiting a little bit, making sure they walk out of spawn first, and here it comes.
Oh, but they only catch the Mei, and you know they're going to be safe. Now the team can push out, give the Immortality Field over to Rogue, give them the cover they need. Because Johnson and Wales right now not looking to give it up yet, looking to isolate the Reinhardt with that wall, but Falcon not going to fall prey to that. As Wales are able to defeat the frontal hold and start moving on their counter pick, Rialto.
And the beauty of this hole is that it's okay that RPI do lose this fight. Holding it spawn just means you give yourself that many more fights before you actually get to the checkpoint. So now they are on the sprint, making their way back here with Lerman's giving them that speed up. And we're going to see fight number 2 on this first stretch of Rialto take place. No ultimates to be seen so far.
Dropping down to protect their Lucio right there. Daddy Phils is going to be punished from above as Johnson and Wales are back for revenge after they laid a finger on Lerman. How dare you? As Johnson and Wales, masterful cleanup right there. This is why the high ground is so important.
And we'll see, RPI should have a chance at another fight here, but that's why you see Johnson and Wales pushing up. Falcon has quite the early Earth Shatter coming through, 30% ahead of his counterpart. So this is a thing that RPI might not be expecting. Here comes the Deadeye.
Going to be shattered right there, right as their Ant Matrix comes out. The double Ant Matrix is making it very hard as Kate looks for that one shot. They're not going to find it. They have to drop back to protect their team once the grab comes out, as Nico is undeterred. Look at all those assists, the kills for the Zarya in the kill feed. As with 4 minutes and 40 seconds, Johnson and Wales move on to point B of Rialto.
stuff. RPI get the 3 fights they're looking for, but they don't last very long. And they don't get as many ults as they might have liked out of Johnson and Wales. Luckily, they've got them down to just their last one in robes. The problem is RJ hasn't been alive long enough to get his. Falcon is low, but will he go down?
Oh my word, how did Falcon live that? The peel was amazing!
Daddy
and now, because they got the Reinhardt out there, they got the Blizzard to punish the aggression. And the reversal coming out from Johnson and Wales.
We're going to see the Blizzard come out. It is isolating Robe, so he will be able to go down. But they lose RJ in the process. RPI not taking these fights on advantageous footing. And now they're just going to have to back off as they lose Swine, their Diva. So there will be another fight before this checkpoint. But we're looking at 350 on the time here, Kilo. And not a whole lot of utility to play with here. They still have to wait for Swine to come back. But this might end up being a 5v4. Oh, here's a self-destruct.
Just gets the Immortality Field, but it's still a crucial resource to burn away. But I'd say Rogue fighting RJ is a little bit better. Hobo firing back with a pick as the Ant Matrix divides this field, makes it really impossible for Johnson and Wales to push out. But they were one down anyways. They were happy to wait, get all fueled up before they get in for the re-engage. Now Daddy Phils, they got the shatter from above. They want to drop down and get him. They want it so bad, but the wall blocks it. They're red like a book beat down. And because of that, now they're all trapped in a grab with no resources to save them. The Immortality Field gone, but still, RPI refuses to die. Getting back behind cover, no kills, but their lives. I'd say that's a good trade-off. But now they're in last fight territory on the second point. They need to find a way in and take fighting Lermans right as they get sound barrier up. That's a nice start, but they need to find a way to survive that Blizzard. Falcons is good, but you need something one better. RPI, one by one, the dominoes fall. And Johnson and Wales of a Shinobu's 4K are able to get through point B of Rialto.
Oh, and that beautiful sound you hear Nico making, that is the Zarya at 100 energy. It is unreal how quickly he's able to melt through RPI's composition here. And they respect it so much, Swine has made the swap to the Zarya himself. Can't find as much value on the Diva, especially if you're not able to eat those grabs. Keep an eye on Falcon. This Earth Shatter is big.
But the wall prevents a lot of the follow-up. The Ant Matrix makes it so scary to go for that shatter, because if you don't hit it, the double damage is going to kill you. As the double damage is instead used to kill the backline. Baptiste is gone, and without Sertle there, there's no reason to continue the fight.
Okay, now RPI finally managed to get a hold here. This is where they dig their heels into the sand. The third points here on Escort and Hybrid maps are where a lot of time gets shaved away should we go to overtime and time bank rounds. So we're going to see RPI don't have a lot to play with in terms of all charge. Look at Johnson and Wales. They're starting things off with the Deadeye.
We're using the speed boost to get Shinobu in position to get cake. There could have been more, but the Immortality Field was there. They're all frozen, though. Even with the sound barrier, it's tough to keep RPI alive through all that, but the Hobo, they're going to do that just fine and get a kill, more or less. Nico going down early, that's going to hurt. But Falcon is really uncontested in the backline. A punch will eventually be the end of their life, and these trades, they're going to let Johnson and Wales inch forward, but it's going to be hard to push into the last point after losing so many.
Using so many ultimates, too. We have Urinal Cake here. The fact that he is winning these duels is super important. Buying time, not letting Johnson and Wells actually take more space as the cart moves in here. But this is where RPI are going to have to make their final stand. Swine is looking for his first grab at the third. It's going to have to be a big one.
Nico running RJ early and the Blizzard on the other side. Johnson and Wales poised for victory. RPI, they need a miracle right now, and Swine might have just found it with the grab, but the question is, who's going to follow up on it? Alone May? RJ? I don't think so, as the ice block can't even make it to point. As with a minute and 54 seconds, Johnson and Wales finish their counterpick Rialto.
As if last map didn't even matter. Johnson and Wales are just going to blitz through the second map here in this best of 5 on the attacking side. And now this defense is what matters. Just under 2 minutes in their time bank is definitely something to be happy about on maps like these. And how is RPI going to respond now that they're on the offense? We saw Shinobu tear it up on that McCree, and in this round, Urinal K could just not keep up. He was finding all these shots. He was finding all these clutch dead eyes. And just the team fighting from Johnson and Wells that we praised last week is what's getting them through a lot of these team fights here. So now RPI are going to have to either start with the Zarya from the beginning, or maybe show us something even more different here, Kilo, because we saw the late swap from Swine, but it's not quite what we may have been hoping for. Of course, Nikos, the signature champ, has performed really well on it. It is hard to match up.
And like you said, Shinobu also standing out big. Last week they had Kixie to compete with, an amazing McCree player in their own right, and rivaling them in every aspect. It didn't let Shinobu shine, but now Urinal Cake having trouble stepping up. Shinobu showing that, okay, I can click heads too. It's not just Kixie, it's me too. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. I thought it was a joke. Beatdown, they're going for the protect the president, the bunker composition. The Maywall raises them up in front. Reinhardt goes with them, so they're safer now as RJ burning down that shield. RJ is no stranger to the Bastion. They used it in the playoffs last year, I believe. But now, knocked off the cart, it's not quite as good. The wall presence is getting a lot of the value. None of that damage that you need in the Bastion comp is coming out, but Swine is going to get the kills anyway. As now RJ is set up, the shield is gone. RPI using this Bastion like a battering ram. Get through the first hole Johnson and Wales put up.
So much damage coming through. Maybe not enough final blows, but it's definitely what RPI need to get a swift capture here on the second point. No spawn hold either. Does mean there's only one more possible defense here on the second point, but it's so tough to cross this bridge with RJ running so much interference. We might actually see this checkpoint go without much of a hitch.
Tanks are able to make it there, but it's going to be dicey because how do you get out of that small choke in order to kill them? Oh, I like that vertical wall placement to make sure you have to burn through the entire wall. RJ takes a step to the right, though, and then they're like, okay, it's time for you to go down. As the Blizzard does give an opportunity for Johnson and Wales to stabilize, to get the tanks out of the way. No shields now, but the damage boosted tanks. They're all one-shots, even for the tanks on the side of Johnson and Wales, if those connect, as Falcon learns the hard way. As that clutch tank amplification matrix play in the back line saves RPI after the tanks fall to the Blizzard.
It's a lot of time for them to be working with here. The walls are smart, but oh, the spawn was not in favor of Rogue. Quickly had to go for the reset there, just to be able to sync up with their team as soon as possible. But now, this Junkrat pick coming through is actually going to be very interesting here. You are going to be able to safely and from out of vision lob bombs and try to threaten RJ on this Bastion. And being able to play for that Riptire is the big goal of this swap here. But it's different compared to what they've been playing so far.
The Supercharger makes that Bastion just that much deadlier. Beatdown as Urinal Cake is going to find a Rogue immediately. The Junkrat going on high, wasn't accounting for the sharpshooter getting that clay pigeon out of the sky. As speaking of a bird in the sky, Daddy Phil's charges right up the stairs to charge Lerman to their death. As a dominant second point right there from RPI. Over 5 minutes left to finish the third.
There's just a window for Johnson and Wales to be able to actually get anything done here. They've gotten some kills here and there, but realistically, they just aren't able to threaten RJ. He died one time now, just before capturing that second point here. And all of this is amounted to RPI having 5 minutes on the clock for this last little bit here. But we're going to see some ults come through from Johnson and Wales.
That shield broken down. It could have been deadly, but they don't quite do it. Instead, Daddy Phil's gets the big shatter, but RJ isn't able to get the follow-up. They're knocked out of their tank form and knocked back to spawn. As this Amp Matrix is the only way to make up the damage without the Bastion there. And they're able to use it for now. Get rid of Falcon. How much longer can you last? You need RJ to be back here now. It's a Hulu's amazing healing does just that. Shootback does go down. Rogue on the flank is spotted out. The pool is going to send them to their death, and RJ is already back on the
look who's back.
They weren't able to get the follow-up. And because of that, they're in the last stretch. Beatdown.
And now we have RJ back onto the cart here. Needs a lot of healing. He's going to have to reposition. But overall, this is a good spot here. You still have a lot of time. A win here would give you an excellent time bank going into the overtime round. What are Johnson & Johnson going to do with Shinobi swapping over to the Hanzo?
A lot more shield break right there as RJ does go down. You're forced to burn the res on them. And the Ant Matrix makes it so hard for RJ to sit out there in the open. A lot of kills coming out Cake does get both DPS and 2 for 1 right there, but without the Bastion there, I don't think they're pushing in anymore. The question is, yeah, RPI getting off of that, going over to the May.
No, but it's done so much for them to get them this far, to give them this much time to play with. Now, the May Doomfist is something they want to play back into. The threat of last map is still here, though, Kilo. You have to watch out for Shinobu on the flashbang. You can't miss your abilities, especially that rocket punch there from Urinal Kick when he goes in here. This could be a big May wall. He's looking for it.
Looking for it, but they're shattered instead. Johnson and Wales, nice cleanup right there. Because you don't have to worry about that Doomfist anymore out of the equation. Swine, though, has been the real winner. I feel like Swine has killed Falcon in almost every fight, which you don't really say about Narissa, but popping off in general and getting a lot of the positioning, too. Yanking all of them out from cover right there as Johnson and Wales now they're forced to play carefully while Falcon comes back from spawn. Daddy feels they have the Shatter online. They're looking to use it. It could be big if there isn't a good block. Holding on, playing it safe, but they're so low on health. I don't know if they can. And Nico finally gets the follow-up. Falcon uses the Shatter for the cleanup, and now over half the time bank burned away on the 3rd point.
And it's tough, too. The fact that Falcon did commit the Earth Shatter might bode well here for RPI. Now, Swine, once again, the late swap onto the Zarya is something they're looking to do here. 2 minutes left on the clock, so there is definitely time for the ultimate to come through. But the late swap hasn't worked out for them before. Will it work now?
Oh my! It gets the Shatter! Daddy feels no Shatter for you as Shinobu with one ability gets rid of so much ultimate charge and through that Blizzard. Falcon gets the cleanup. Already halfway to one of their own. An amazing stagger too onto RJ. Burning away this time bank beatdown. They barely have any room left to breathe.
Yeah, this is getting more and more difficult here. Again, Swine switching over to the Zarya hasn't worked out for them previously, but they're betting everything on it now. We're probably only going to see one Graviton Surge come through before the round ends. It's going to need to be a big one here. Shipback also has their sound barrier ready to go. Got to play a little ring around the road to get as close as they can without fighting, but they already lose their Reinhardt.
That's not a good way to start out. You see they're backing out here, but the aggression coming out from Johnson and Wales. They are not letting them get away. Get over here is what they yell. Is now less than a minute on the clock. RPI, they have some tools. What are they going to be able to do with them?
And this is super intelligent here. The fact is, they may have some tools, but little time to do anything with, because Johnson and Wales are wasting time forcing them to go for the respawn here. Now, Urinal Cake is coming out with the dead eye, but they can just walk right behind this wall here. This is going to be the last chance that RPI gets.
Now taking the opportunity to click on those skulls right there is RPI now. They're all shattered. That's 2 down. Shinobu and RJ survive though as Cake does find Falcon. Now, grab down. Protected by the May wall. Shinobu isn't able to get the follow-up because of that. Now, sound barriers on both sides with the blade one on Johnson and Wales might be a little bit better. It gives them a little more health to work with.
They still held.
RPI are not able to push through. Johnson and Wales now. Less than 10 seconds. Is anyone going to be able to get back? Nope. I don't think so. Beatdown as Johnson and Wales, after an amazing attack, are able to stop the Bastion in its tracks, get the President off the payload, and tie up the grand finals 1-1, taking the first map RPI have ever lost in this season of ECAC.
And what a convincing map it was. Even though it took all the way till the end here, Johnson and Wales gave no quarter. The fact that they won every single fight from this point on with very small margins, mind you, is actually extremely impressive. The fact is, we saw comp swaps, we saw different plays, we saw lots of picks come out from the side of RPI, but it didn't matter. They were not able to actually get to that finish line, actually finish things off. And you look at Nico and Shinobu being big proprietors of that because of the combinations they made with their ultimates and just how well they played with each other there. When you see every fight where, okay, this might go really well. Well, no, it won't go really well because Nico has Grav and Shinobu has Deadeye. And every single time it got insane amounts of value that were able to just make sure every fight goes in Johnson and Wales' favor. And they got those fights, they got those ultimates up very, very often.
Mm-hmm. Constantly putting out that damage. Maybe not getting the kills all the time, though, let's be honest. It was the kills a lot of the time. But just building to the ultimates fast enables the rest of their team to do so much work. And that's the real kicker, because when you win a fight with those fast building ultimates, you don't have to commit the slow ones. You can save those for those close situations where you need a grab. You need something bigger than just an amp matrix, you know?
I do. And it's really tough to see what RPI are going to come back with here. I did say that Control was a different beast, and we saw Johnson and Wales kind of show us that with how well they played things out here on Rialto. Compositionally, it seems like these guys have kind of shown us most of what their style is. Nico is going to stay on that Zarya more often than not. We're going to see more of the Diva out from Swine on the side of RPI, but is willing to play the Zarya, but it hasn't really worked out here. And they seem to really like to play with this Mei Doomfist. And some of the time it looks quite good, but unless you can actually manage to get on the back line and actually shut down players like Shinobu, who are probably going to play McCree most of the series, it's going to be really difficult for you to actually find success with these compositions.
Yeah, on Rialto, they weren't able to find that success, but now it's going to be RPI's map pick. With it tied up 1-1 with Johnson and Wales, it's their chance to regain the lead, and we'll see if they're able to do that right after this quick break.
In the semifinals now, they're going to be on the receiving end, but I like this RPI are waiting a little bit, making sure they walk out of spawn first, and here it comes.
Oh, but they only catch the Mei, and you know they're going to be safe. Now the team can push out, give the Immortality Field over to Rogue, give them the cover they need. And Johnson and Wales right now not looking to give it up yet, looking to isolate the Reinhardt with that wall. Falcon not going to fall prey to that. As Wales are able to defeat the frontal hold and start moving on their counter pick, Rialto.
And it's low, but will he go down?
Oh my word, how did Falcon live that?
And it's low, but will he go down? And it's low, but will he go down?
Oh my word, how did Falcon live that? The peel was amazing! And now, because they got the Reinhardt out there, they got the Blizzard to punish the aggression. And the reversal coming out from Johnson and Wales. Re-engage now, Daddy Kills. They got the shatter from above. They want to drop down and get him. They want it so bad, but the wall blocks it. They're red like a book deep down. And because of that, now they're all trapped in a grab with no resources to save them. The Immortality Field's gone, but still, RPI refuses to die. Getting back behind cover, no kills, but their lives. I'd say that's a good trade-off. But now they're in last fight territory on this second point. They need to find a way in, and Kate fighting Lermans right as they get sound barrier up. That's a nice start, but they need to find a way to survive that Blizzard. Good. Something one better RPI, one by one. Follow up on it. Alone Mei, RJ? I don't think so, as the Ice Block can't even make its point. As with a minute and 54 seconds, Johnson and Wales finish their counterpick Rialto.
As if last map didn't even matter. Johnson and Wales.
The Bastion, they used it in the playoffs last year, I believe. But now, knocked off the cart, it's not quite as good. The wall presence is getting a lot of the value. None of that damage that you need in the Bastion comp is coming out, but Spud is going to get the kills anyway. As now RJ is set up, the shield is gone. RPI using this Bastion like okay, it's time for you to go down. As the Blizzard does give an opportunity for Johnson and Wales to stabilize, to get tanks out of the way. No shields now, but the damage boosted tanks. They're all one-shots, even for the tanks on the side of Johnson and Wales, if those connect, as Falcon learns the hard way. As that clutch tank to find a road immediately. The Junkrat going on high, wasn't accounting for the sharpshooter getting that clay pigeon out of the sky. As speaking of a bird in the sky, Daddy Phil's charges right up the stairs to charge Lerman to their death. As a dominant second point. It could be big if there isn't a good block. Playing it safe, but they're so low on health, I don't know if they can. And Nico finally gets the follow-up. Falcon uses the shatter for the cleanup, and now over
there is definitely time for the ultimate to come through, but the late swap hasn't worked out for them before. Will it work now?
Oh my god! The shatter! Daddy Phil's no shatter for you as Shinobu. One ability gets There is so much ultimate charge and through the follow-up because of that. Now, down barriers on both sides with the blade one on Jives as Wales might be a little bit better. It gives them a little more health to work with.
They still held.
RPI are not able to push through. Johnson and Wales now. Less than 10 seconds. Is anyone going to be able to get back?
Nope.
I don't think so. Beatdown as Johnson and Wales, after an amazing attack, are able to stop the Bastion in its tracks.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!
What's up, guys? I'm Heston, and welcome to Room for Improvement, the show where we take college gamers and transform their living spaces into the ultimate gaming setup. This is nuts. Let's get started.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ECAC Overwatch Finals, where at the moment, RPI is tied 1-1 with Johnson and Wales University. But from the other stream, from another game, we just got the update that the Rocket League Finals have finished, and West Virginia University has beaten Staten Island 3-1. So congratulations to them. Give the support to them, but right now, these finals, they're still going.
They sure are, and things are actually heating up to be a really tight series. After game one not going Johnson and Wales' way in a very unfortunate loss there in Legion Garden, they just bounced right back here on Rialto for a really staggering hold just towards the end of the map, actually not allowing them to go towards overtime holds. And before the break, you and I were discussing what were we going to see going forward now. We're starting to see the styles, especially watching Johnson and Wales last week, what they're going to really stick with, what's really been working for them here, and how RPI are actually going to overcome that. If they stay with this May Doomfist composition, maybe how they play it, what routes they take on certain maps, or something they're going to have to start reconsidering, because it seems like it's really difficult for them to get on top of and shut down members like Shinobu on this McCree, who's been having a good game alongside his teammate Nico.
Yeah, sometimes you can play those sort of unorthodox compositions to get the drop on people, but against Nico and Shinobu, two characters that really shut down that style, I don't know if it's going to work as well. What I did love was the more divey style we saw, where you can run the Doomfist with that, and it works wonders. And going to our next map, Anubis, a lot more high ground to exploit. I'm thinking we might be seeing a return to that.
Potentially, yeah. We do often see dive heroes come through specifically for that reason, especially on that A site where there's a lot of exploitable high ground. But we'll see. it's not unheard of where you have teams do a more sort of death volley style, whether it's Ryan Zarya, Ryan Diva, or even Orisa, where you Lucio speed boost up all the way when you're on offense, up the stairs, just to force people off that high ground so that they can't effectively contest you from multiple points here. So there are going to be a lot of options for whoever is attacking first, and that's why I'm curious to see if we'll see things switch up, but I'm not 100% sure we will, just because in the past teams really like to stick to their styles. It looks like, and I generally agree with that sort of thing. Play what works for you, not necessarily what people will say is meta.
I definitely agree with that as well. Neither of these teams sticking to their direct meta, sticking to what they know best, and we'll see if they continue to do that now as we're starting to get into the map. As just a reminder, once again, as we're getting into the map, as always, the link will be down when the map gets started to enter into that giveaway for $150 of HyperX merchandise. They got a headset, they got a keyboard, and a mouse. The full setup for you. So make sure to do that right there with that link right below me.
Yeah, that's right. And then with that being said, now we're going to go towards map number 3 to see who's going to take themselves over to match point here in this best of 5 grand finals. RPI trying to go for their 3rd and 2nd championship in a row here at ECAC Overwatch. And it's looking like RPI will be starting things off on the defense. So they're the composition that I'm going to focus on solely. And of course, we are going to see Swine on that signature wrecking ball that he loves to play so much.
Yeah, I'm loving the Swine off tank. A lot of value gained. But the surprising thing I'm seeing, the Genji coming out. We've seen RJ on this Genji before in previous ECAC seasons, and this looks like all signature characters to me. You got the RJ Genji, you got the Swine Wrecking Ball, and the Zahobo Ana. I mean, if we're talking about comfort picks, I don't know if there's a more comfortable pick than this lineup.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, there's a lot of comfort picks coming through here, and we'll see how things play out on the defense. It's a very aggressive kind of composition, kind of attacking Johnson and Wales as they try to make their entry. So it's looking like we won't see any crazy high ground engages. It's going to be simple pathing up through that left side here as Urinal. Again, you gotta respect Shinobu here as we see Swine going for the knockout.
Yeah, the slam comes out, but not a huge follow-up. Heal is good from Johnson and Wales to weather the storm through those cooldowns. Now they're ready to get the engage going in soon enough. RJ going to be looking to follow up now. That was a meaty one, and Urinal Cake gets the follow-up. Shinobu's out of the way. That's a flashbang gone. One of the main tools for shutting down the dive. Eliminated. Shoot back will fall, but with Lerman's gone, that's the speed boost gone. And the regular melee is what almost finishes Falcon's life as Urinal Cake retreats back to their healer for protection.
Well, that's a good start here. You can see how well RPI are just jumping on top of Johnson and Wales every time they try to play or controlling a power position. So now, as some of their members come back from respawn, we see a different route come through from Johnson and Wales. So they're going to force the reposition out from RPI here. RJ, going to need you to move to a different area there, buddy. But it's Swine playing for the knockout.
Yeah, Swine playing it careful. Johnson and Wales, as we've been saying, their defense is so good. Ooh, Daddy Feels needed that nano boost to stay alive right there. But the investment pays off. The dividends coming in as that high ground initiation with the nano boost gave them the edge they needed to hold on to the point right there. RPI looking very strong right now. Half of the time gone from Johnson and Wales time bank.
Yeah, and what an insane fight win there. You use only the nano boost to just have Danny Fields melt people with the Tesla cannon. And now Johnson and Wales are going to come back here. Not as much to work with because Falcon late swapped onto the Winston. We aren't going to see a Primal Rage until probably the second to last or last fight here. But already, Urinal Cake finds a pick.
That's just the raw Doomfist right there. Getting the follow-up after an uppercut. And now, without that Baptiste, there's not a lot RPI have to be worried about. Obviously, you don't want to get exit killed, but they know Johnson and Wales isn't going to push in, so they're happy to just sit here and poke, get some ultimates going. They need their support ultimates anyways.
And this is going to be the tough one. A lot of ultimates available on both sides here. I'm looking at Nico. He always finds so much value here combined with Shinobi. Can they find it again?
Ooh, but the immediate mines, as I said, the swine mines, they have been crucial in so many fights. And scooping up the team right there, Johnson and Wales didn't quite adapt correctly.
The ults.
That's going to be the Blizzard on the high ground, secure it for their team, but they weren't expecting that. Cake dropping right down with the initiation. Better than most Hammonds ever could dream of, as they were able to weather the wintry storm in RPI now, under a minute. Johnson and Wales, they're up against the wall.
Oh, and this is so unfortunate too. RPI are just so disciplined here. Johnson and Wales finally felt the pressure that they needed to make a play happen. So when you see Falcon about to die, he finally commits that primal wage. They finally commit some of their ultimates. But now, with 3 ultimates left in tow, a late calm swap is coming through. But Urinal Cake, if he finds this pick, it's over.
No one spotted them out, and RJ gets the reflect onto the orb. They haven't even used the Nano Blade yet. Finally, RJ gets it out. They're grabbed, but they don't get the pop-off play. The pressure, though, forces the grab out. The one team-winning ultimate that Johnson and Wales had under their belt is unavailable for the time being, as RPI finish off what looks to be a full hold. There's one kill coming in from Shinobu in the quick character coming in to contest, but over time, it's going down faster and faster, and one by one, the trickle-ins can't do anything. Beat down. This was one heck of a beatdown. RPI said, okay, you kept it close before the half, but there is a reason we are the unquestioned champions of ECAC.
0.
And when Johnson tried to question them on this offense, RPI shut them right down, shut them right up, Kilo, because that was an incredible hold coming out from them. Amazing dives, very precise for every time Johnson and Wales were looking for some key positions here, and they weren't able to find a foothold in any single one of these fights. And again, the discipline through their ult usage, the fact that they were able to play around the map so well, use their mobility to isolate the backline members of Johnson and Wales constantly, made it so hard for, well, Johnson and Wales to actually participate here, to the point where they had 5 ult stacking, were forced to make a play, and with such little time left, they weren't able to stack them back up again. Now, we side swap. They're going to have to play for the draw here, as RPI just need a single tick in 4 minutes to be able to go over to match points here.
And look at what RPI are running. I don't think they're changing this. The Nano Blade is coming out. The question is, how are Johnson and Wales going to deal with potentially 2 Nano Blades over the course of this push? Last time, they grabbed it. And of course, Nico builds the fast grabs, but you don't want to be using them on a single player. So, how else are they going to counter it? That is the storyline I'm looking out for.
1. Attackers incoming.
So again, like, we're going to see RJ back on the Genji here. Very limited changes to RPI's composition. Most notably, Urinal Cake on the Echo again, and Swine on the Zarya. Going to be able to most certainly either bubble Cakes or Daddy Phil's on the engage here. But I like how patient they are. They're looking for it, and Daddy Phil's finds an opening.
Ooh, a lot of damage right there. And they're forcing Johnson and Wales to give up the high ground. It's Falcon, the last bastion of defense up there, but they hold on just long enough for them to find an angle. Johnson and Wales, they save themselves for the time being. The tactical retreat benefiting them in the long run.
And now that we have a second, I want to talk about this Genji pick, and why I'm not like fully sold on it. When you think about people like Shinobu's McCree, when you think of the damage Nico can do that can't be deflected with Genji's E, it's going to be really difficult to RJ to actually get damage up here, actually charge up this blade so that they can play for this Nano Blade here. It's only because they have so much time that they might be able to find an opportunity to make this combo work, but they've already used the Nano on Daddy Phil's.
Yeah, only 50% of the way there. You just want to gain positioning. So, Hobo, you know they're going to get the Nano Boost back anyways, as RPI now are unable to use the high ground that they just took. They just give it right back after Johnson and Wales. Going for the re-engage now, but
Oh, that's one.
Grab comes out right there. They needed to get that grab though onto more than just Urinocake, who just gets knocked out of the duplicate form. They're fine. Now one by one they're falling. The sound barrier keeps them alive for the moment.
Oh, there it is.
Is the blade. RJ don't need an mana boost. They're going in for the cleanup anyways. But it's the primal blade that gets the real value. Getting rid of Robe, the one person who could have taken down the tanks, as the fruits of the full hold are finally bared. And RPI goes up 2-1 in the grand finals on their match point before they get their third ECAC championship.
And that's a strong showing here from the returning champs of in RPI to be able to just have such a strong hold. And even though things weren't working these first couple of fights, they were just taking their time. And once they finally had the opening they're looking for, the ult combos that they were looking for, it was just so easy for them to take it through, because Johnson and Wales have only one chance. When you get full health on offense, it's just the way it goes. One tick is very difficult to defend, and it's understandable that you end up falling short. Now, backs against the wall. You have RPI up 2-1. What is your map choice as we go over to what should be hybrid? And what's the plan now? Going back into it, you were playing things you were comfortable with. This is not even like they mixed it up and it failed. This is how they like to play, and it still did not work for them in the face of RPI.
Yeah, RPI really just dismantling them right there. It seemed at times that they might have gotten a defense put together, but just one mistake. That is all RPI needed to destroy Johnson and Wales. And that one mistake ended up being they challenged the duplicated Echo, who had no fear for their life. They were willing to jump into a grab just to get a better angle. And they just skated away scot-free. And once that one pick came out, it was go time for the rest of RPI.
And Nico usually does find a lot of very crucial graviton surges there for the team of Johnson and Wales. But that one, unfortunately, was not it. And when you have so few opportunities to make mistakes in scenarios like that, when you're full hold, when you're playing to defend that single tick, one mistake like that does end up costing you. And because now, like you said, you didn't even end up getting the kill. Duplicate is so nice in that you don't actually die when you lose all your HP in that form, and the few seconds Graviton holds you means it's enough time for you to actually escape and live. Slippery Hero Echo is. And now, will we see the same kind of composition come through? If we see attack first come out from Johnson and Wales on hybrid, maybe we see a fancy strategy out of them. Maybe we see a Protect the President style composition once you actually unlock the payload capturing A site.
Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility. I would not put it past them for sure. But in general, I think they really need to just clean up their core gameplay. I think there are a lot of options they could go for here, especially on hybrid. I think King's Row would be a nice option, but we'll see what they end up going with after this quick break. Right there, Johnson Wales didn't quite adapt correctly. Right there, Johnson Wales didn't quite adapt correctly. That's going to be the Blizzard on the high ground, securing for their team, but they weren't expecting that. Hey, dropping it right down with the initiation. Better than those cannons ever could dream of, as they're able to weather the wintry school. But there is a reason we are the unquestioned champions of ECAC.
And when Johnson tried to question them on this offense, RPI shut them right down.
One grab comes out right there. They needed to get that grab though onto more than just Urinocake, who just gets knocked out of the duplicate form. They're fine. Now one by one they're falling. The sound barrier keeps them alive for the moment.
Oh, there it is.
The blade. RJ don't need an mana boost. They're going in for the cleanup anyways. But it's the primal blade that gets the real value. Getting rid of Rogue, the one person who could have taken down the tanks, as the fruits of the full hold are finally bared.
To be able to just have such a strong hold, and even though things weren't working these first couple of fights, they were just taking their time.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!
What's up, guys? I'm Heston, and welcome to Room for Improvement, the show where we take college gamers and transform their living spaces into the ultimate gaming setup.
This is nuts.
Let's get started.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
And here comes Anthony Alfredo across the start finish line, taking the white flag. Final lap. Nothing but clear sailing in front of him. And 5 car lengths separates him from second. Here it is, checker flag, and your winner in dominant fashion.
Getting into PC gaming can be daunting if you don't have time, are on a budget, or are just starting out and don't know exactly what you're looking for. Thankfully, we just redesigned iBuyPower.com with a few tools to make everything easier for anybody trying to jump into a new PC. It's all about finding what's best for you. Let's start at the top. If you're just starting out and need a recommendation of what to look for, Easy Builder is the perfect choice. Enter in the type of games you really want to play, what you want to play them on, what platform you're thinking of, and how much you want to spend. Our system will track down the right system for your budget. And in case you need to make any adjustments, you can just click Customize and add a few tweaks however you see fit. Simple, straight to the point. But what if you need something more? You know your stuff. You just don't have the time to build a custom DIY PC from scratch. That's where Custom Configurator comes in. Choose from the newest, cutting-edge hardware on the market, and we'll build you your dream PC just the way you like it. We even have a section filled with extras just in case you need them. But what if you need a system now? You know your tech, and you just need a PC to play the latest and greatest thing that just came out. We got you. iBuyPower RDY systems are exactly for you. Featuring the same amazing part selection from our DIY configurator, these pre-built systems ship within 24 hours and are guaranteed to arrive on your doorstep as quickly as possible. You'll be ready for anything that comes your way. 3 different ways to build a PC, 1 simple way to do it. iBuyPower.com. However you game, we got you.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead.
What do you see that no one else does?
Welcome back, everybody, to the ECAC Grand Finals of Overwatch. Right now, RPI are leading over Johnson & Wales 2-1, and Johnson & Wales, they kept it even the first two maps until we got to Anubis, and RPI decided they're not playing any games anymore. They're the two-time champion for a reason, and they got the full hold over Johnson & Wales.
And you know what? We got to give both of these teams props just to start things off. Like, the series has absolutely been back and forth, but it's just interesting how, you know, the maps that RPI win look really strong. The maps that Johnson and Wales win look really strong. And they're just taking turns winning on their individual map picks. And that does lead me to think we're going to go to a 5-game series because, of course, our hybrid map of choice chosen by Johnson and Wales will be King's Row, the best map in Overwatch. Not a hot take. I will not be listening to criticism. And now the question ends up being to me, we're going to see things swapped up, Kilo. We talked about how the Nico really strong on Zarya for a really long time, even when Zarya wasn't good. King's Row was the map you could play her on, and that has not changed today. So this could be the opening for that clutch performance coming through from Shinobu as well to be able to actually clutch it out, take us to a map 5. Can they actually get it done? Will they stick to what's tried and true? Will they mix it up? And most importantly, do they have the Lenovo Legion Y25 Kilo? That's the real question here. You know why? Because Lenovo Legion knows that you play to win. And to stand out from the competition, you need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and actions. The Y25 monitor delivers, wins in the toughest, most critical situations, kind of like these, and with its extreme 1 millisecond response time to its insane 240 hertz refresh rate. The Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, but it does so much more. And it is built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles, such as these two teams today at the tournament level. The Legion offers 24.5-inch full HD IPS display panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. The Legion Y25 monitor is, of course, available at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers.
Yeah, so go over to
Do they have them?
Lenovo.com in order to get that, because that is exactly the kind of gear
how you
that
win.
These players are rocking to win. Guaranteed. Not actually guaranteed, but mostly guaranteed. And we'll see if the win is guaranteed right here for RPI, or if Johnson & Wales can get us to a map 5 as we are going into King's Row. Match point for RPI. We'll see if they're able to turn it around. And also, just a reminder, we are still doing that giveaway right there. There's the link popping up now. $150 of HyperX merchandise. So beyond the Lenovo monitor, also check out the HyperX giveaway we're doing right there at the link. A headset, a keyboard, and a mouse. All the gear you need to play like these players. So you can get a sort of demonstration of what you can do with that gear now as the players are getting into this. And oh man, this is kind of a mix-up on defense. On King's Row, look at what they're running.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be an interesting one. So the thing with this composition is that, of course, you have a lot of dive. You have RJ who can follow up, but you have urinal cakes in the background with this range damage, and that's really important because of how prevalent picks like that Widowmaker can be snipers, maybe even Ash on maps like King's Row. I know I don't usually talk about what we're seeing in the attacking spawn, but usually it's not uncommon to see a Widowmaker try and make the play here. But it's looking like Shinobu will stick with the Sombra, interestingly enough, so you already know the EMP is the big ultimate to play for here.
Additionally, Rogue looking to take the duel. Their turn on the McCree. Shinobu, get off of that. It's my turn. As they do use the flashbang and the right click to fend off the initial attack from the high ground, and the shot into the fire strike will get rid of Shupak too. That's who's supposed to be guarding Zobo. So now Urinal Cake has to do that, but they're all just running for their lives. Trading 1 for 1 right now, an opportunity to re-engage, but at the moment, Johnson and Wales already poised to take a first take on their attack. Already no chance of a tie as they continue this. Not really a full team wipe, but when these trickle kills keep coming in, does it really matter that much? Johnson Wales is going to take the point anyway. As now we are going to continue as back after being picked so early, walking the long walk all the way back from spawn. It's gonna be tough, I'll tell you, Beatdown. Like, they didn't have to use the MP.
Well, they didn't even have it. The Shinobu playing the Sombra is such a big read here, simply because you expect that Wrecking Ball, that's what this pick tells me, from Swine. And it means that Swine can't freely just assault the backline the way he has been whenever he's on this champion. So it's so hard for him to actually find value. Dragon Strike is going to come through, but it's going to do a little more than force Johnson and Wales to move back up a little bit. Now that we have other ults to play with, though, RPI might be able to mount a defense.
Novo, they have that right click out. They're just looking to dance their fingers around, and they finally get it. Oh, no, they don't. Swine skated away scot-free, and they finally do the panic EMP, but is it too late? Look at that. So many people down, Shinobu. And that was just... It's sad to see.
Not ideal.
When you use all your cooldowns to get no value.
And, you said it beautifully, Kilo. Panic EMP, and that's what it looked like. You already lost 2, potentially even 3 members at the time, and you commit such a big ultimate that many members of your team are not able to follow up on it. Now, it's going to be a while before that one comes back. Luckily for Johnson and Wales, they have other tools to play with as this next fight starts. We're looking at you, Nico. You're clutch for most of this series. You are this team's rock. Can you do it again?
They're trying to do it now with that, but because of that anti-nade, Falcon can't get aggressive, just barely skating away with their life. Didn't protect Sertal's life, though, as without the Baptiste, it's going to be very tough for Johnson and Wales to continue mounting this defense. The hack, though, on a Swine, that could be the opening need to get the finisher, but what they need to do is spot out RJ, and that's exactly what Shinobu does, not letting that Reaper escape. Sombra can see those half-out targets through the walls. They know where you're hiding.
And slowly but surely, Johnson and Wales will overcome and start to move towards this checkpoint. They got a lot of time from the bank, and we are going to see the re-engage come through. They're all to play with.
And that is an immediate elimination onto Swine.
Oh, the point?
Not playing any of the Wrecking Balls games, but getting rid of the main tank. I mean, tank for tank, that's always a good thing as RJ goes up to the high ground. Ooh, they're looking to drop down on those juicy supports, but I don't even think they need the Death Blossom right here, even though you see those 3 vulnerable targets. You already won the fight. So, RPI looking to hold on to their advantage for now.
Now, crucial that RJ holds on to that ultimate going for this next fight here. This needs to be a big one. They have to watch out. The Shinobu has the EMP. They have to know, and this is basically the big difference maker here. Johnson and Wales are so good at moving quickly. If this EMP gets a handful of members, the fight is as good as done, especially with no sound barrier for them to work with. They are not playing with the Lucio.
And there's the Death Blossom, the Nano Blade. Nano Blossom coming out, but they get no value. Instead, they're all grabbed together, and then EMP, Johnson and Wales, having none of that ultimate comboing nonsense. Shutting it down with the EMP grab. That's a real ultimate combo. As Nico getting the cleanup, the signature 3K on the Zarya, beaming them away.
as they beam themselves straight onto the third point of King's Row.
And it's so tough too. RPI commits so much to that fight that they don't have anything to work with here. They're gonna swamp things up because it doesn't really make a difference in terms of ult charge. And now these are more stall picks that they can play with here as they try to build up some ult charge. There's a lot of time left on the clock for Johnson and Wales to get things done.
Wall cancels out the ant matrix for a moment, but the double damage still comes out in the end. Circle trying to use that, but the issue is they give him so much space they don't have time to. And now the rush coming out from RPI. No more, they say. Shinobu is getting close, 60% to another EMP, but they're gonna get off of that eventually as the May does come out. Shinobu back onto that McCree.
And again, these later stages of maps like King's Row, like Rialto, where time starts to get shaved away. So now Johnson and Wales need to play this slow, try and take away space. Falcon, Earth Shatter ready to go. Now as the card starts to move, as they get a pick, they can start to look forward. That's a big shatter.
Everyone to their knees right there as Falcon storms into the third point. Shootback is the only survivor, but not for long, just stalling out the cart a little bit. And just like that, we're in last fight territory, and Nico has the grab. They need something to combo with it, though. They need a way to eliminate these people. But the issue is, Zahobo, their immortality field is the only thing standing.
Oh, they can't even get on.
Get the point. The grab, perfect positioning. Better than any May wall, because you can't go around it, you can't go below it. As Johnson and Wales grab them out of the point, and they get their 3 points on the board.
And with a decent amount of time, I'm starting to see a repeat of map 2. Getting a little deja vu here as RPI just don't seem to have an answer. Usually it's Shinobu and Nico coming out on top, and this map was no difference. But this time Shinobu brought out something a little different. He brought out the Sombra and was able to deny so much, not just denying the Wrecking Ball from Swine with a lot of those hacks, but these EMPs after a lot of ultimates come out from RPI, just negating so much of their value, really put a wrench in their economy, and it made it so difficult for them to be able to actually stabilize towards the later parts of the round. And now we need to see a big defense come out here from Johnson and Wales just so they can actually take us to that map 5 that they so desperately need.
30 seconds.
Johnson and Wales, we know they can pull out these clutch defenses out of nowhere. We saw it in the semifinals when they got the Fuller Hold, the legendary achievement. Now, on their signature composition, no switch-ups whatsoever, no surprise Sombras. Are they gonna be able to hold up under the pressure of RPI? That is the question.
5,
As the
4,
timer counts down.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
We look at Johnson and Wales. Composition here, nothing too crazy. It's just going to be the May McCree. Once again, it's done so well for them in games past and even on this night. But now we still have this Genji Hanzo dive coming through here. No Sombra, Pete Swine is a little more free to play this Wrecking Ball that he loves so much. And I see a big knockup.
Ooh, amazing initiation coming out there from Swine, sneaking stealthily into the back line, only to be frozen up. But they still got a tick for their efforts. As RPI, they lose their initiator, but they still have a lot of ground to work with. Shinobu is actually over to that Sombra. They want to deal with this Wrecking Ball as quick as they can. They don't want to give them any room to breathe. On that swamp immediately, looking for that pick right there. The Storm Arrows pressuring the back line. The RPI with the hacks, they're having trouble initiating as RJ goes down.
This one is tough. Urinal Cake, oh, gets caught in the animation, but is going to be able to force Shinobu out. Not quite the picks you're looking for here, but it's starting to go in favor of RPI. Losing Swine isn't good, but you have Urinal Cake popping off, getting healed, and avoiding that Graviton surge. The problem is, can he actually survive now? No, it's Johnson and Wales who are holding strong.
That was brutal. It looked like RPI had their big opportunity, but they committed a little too far too fast. Now, though, they're getting close to that Nano Blade. RJ, they have not been allowed to play Genji. Like, I feel like
no,
Johnson and Wales are nerfing the ult charge rate.
And this is why I talked about it when we were on a new miss. It doesn't work with the strong champions right now, but now we have Daddy Phils, who is strong right now, and RJ is starting to get some value with these Nash resets.
Just getting those quick kills, and now they find the Sombra hiding out in the back right there. They're not going to escape him, or they can just get SMG down. But the bigger SMG is there to play. These late kills give an opportunity for recontest, but I don't think you want to commit the EMP right here, right now. You want to save it for a later date, as they let RPI start the payload moving.
Still, it costs you so much just to be able to finally capture the point here, and all you really have to show for it afterwards is this Dragon Blade, and it's going to be really difficult to actually get value. Someone like Sombra, very slippery. Mei has the ability to just hide away and take care, and then you look at tanks, mobile support. Who is the target for this Dragon Blade when you don't have it on the combo? That's going to be the difficult thing here, and there's the EMP.
The EMP shatter, no less, is RJ. Ooh, I have to assume that's going to be a swap, because there is no way to clutch that out. Not in a million years.
I think, yeah, you want to swap things out. You want to be thankful that Johnson and Wales overcommit with ultimates here. Committing 3 in a fight that you were certain to win. RJ, now I just need you to switch it up. Come on.
Come on, RJ.
Get him spawn, and he's not switching.
RJ.
He's not switching.
Now is to build to another entire blade. That's going to be rough. We're going to have the initiating tool here with this Dragon Strike. Through the walls. Shimada brothers are the DPS duo right now, but they're trapped inside the grab. Nico is doing more damage than both of them combined with the rate they're building these grabs. The Swine does get hacked up, not having a fun time playing that Wrecking Ball anymore on to the double bubble composition. As Johnson and Wales, they're just cycling their ultimates. Now it's their turn for the Blizzard, and even though Daddy Phils prevents a lot of the follow-up with the Primal Rage, ECAC still goes down. It's a long, drawn-out fight right now to down, but Johnson and Wales gradually coming out on top.
Long and drawn out favors Johnson and Wales by a long shot because they are just wasting time off the clock as the cart does not budge a single meter. And now for RPI, they're just waiting for this Nano Blade combo, you have to assume, but that buys you one fight, Kilo. One fight. And what do you do after when Nico's grab is up, when Falcon Shatter is up, when JWU has EMP? The question is, RJ isn't going to be able to do a whole lot here, so this blade better be big. It better be game-ending for it to be worth it for RPI.
Beatdown, they have managed to move the cart all the way towards the end, but RJ gets hacked. They don't quite reveal their ultimate charge rate, but they still go down. Just times a minute 40 passes. Now, you're still in maybe one fight territory, but you can't give up this choke again. You can't be forced back to spawn. That could be deadly.
And what is happening anyway here, Kilo? No response for RPI, excuse me, who now have the Nano Blade. They're going to have a few more ults to play with. The Swine, who also is playing Zarya now, he's getting closer and closer to that Graviton Surge, but it's tough. Swine hasn't had a whole lot of success on the hero, and so far, if the last couple of minutes have meant anything here, it's been difficult for RPI, and it's only getting worse.
The EMP shatter once again, but crucially, obviously, clean fight from Johnson and Wales. They did not use the Nano Blade. They're betting it all. The riskiest gambit we've seen so far on this one play.
I am restored.
And will it go off? Will it pay off is going to be the question here. I struggle to believe it will. The fact is, again, you get one fight, and even if this works, you have so much to play for afterwards. And they can't. He's grabbed. He's stuck, and no dash resets actually gotten.
But baiting out all those resources is starting to work out for RPI. Thermocake is able to find 2, and even though RJ gives their life, they're still trading 1 for 1. Spawn advantage technically in the reins of RPI rather. They have a chance to get back into this position. Natty Fields pops that Primal Rage, buying more time on the cart as Cake finds yet another pick. The Hanzo coming out big just when they needed it most. As Daddy Feels hits 2, the cleanup kills. They weren't able to retreat. Now in overtime, a chance for RPI to stay in this.
Somehow they're clinging to life. The problem is Johnson and Wales do have a chance to recontest. Are they going to use it? You have Swine watching. trying to dissuade it, knock them off balance here, and here he is. He might be able to get it done. They're actually working down Nico's HP.
Nico, the signature push a little farther than your main tank and go down is going to be the finisher right there, as the unlikeliest push in the world concludes right there, as RPI, they're on to the third point with time.
And time is a little generous. 1 minute. The goal here is to finish above overtime. You need time in the bank if you actually want to be able to win this map and the series here and claim your third title in RPI. It's so tough. Shinobu has the EMP to work with here. With only one fight left, you got to imagine this is going Johnson and Wales' way.
Shatter coming in soon. The sound barrier protects them as well. Daddy Bills, though, doesn't fall. No kills at all. And instead, Shupak is able to find one. The amplification matrix is coming out. It's just like what we saw on Lijiang beat down. They're trying to finish before overtime. It could be the big play, as they've got them all bottled up right here. The Primal Rage in the small room.
Are you serious?
Committed to stop them as RJ, the shotguns in the back line, are looking to finish it off. 20 seconds left before it's only a tie. They need to get this payload in, and it looks like they might be able to beat down. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. And I'm not believing it quite yet, because RPI, they still have a chance to lose this. Johnson and Wales stalling out for so long, but Swine, the minefield that we've talked about again and again and again, comes out to help them try and finish out the map.
One, no, it's
Wales
overtime.
is all coming out, but RJ, the clutch death blossom in the last second, there's no hack to stop it, and in overtime, they finish King's Row, buying a chance at a draw right here over Johnson and Wales.
Oh, and it's so very close. Maybe 1 second too late, our RPI. But it's as you say, they cannot win the series now. They have to just make sure Johnson and Wales cannot move forward and actually tie the series up here.
And I'm in awe of what RPI just did. I truly am. Because it feels like they're procrastinating. We talked about how RPI came straight from their finals to come play this game. Well, maybe they were procrastinating studying for that just as much as they procrastinate winning. It's just like we saw on Lijiang, where they were losing the entire map and then came back in the last second. Now they're doing it again.
And it's tough too, because the thing really that stands out to me is just the fact that RJ just continues to play this Genji. Like we talked about it for the last couple of maps now. It is a tough hero to play in current circumstances, and we see we see that RPI are still trying to bring it out, still thinking RJ can make something happen, and they haven't been finding the success they're looking for, but they are betting it all one last time here on this defense. Can RPI actually get the tie and keep things forward in their favor?
Immediate pressure. I'm liking the Cake Echo. It's a very powerful hero right there, providing the coverage from afar as Hobo gets rid of their main support counterpart. Get out of here. Turtle is now playing it safe right now, not committing into that little alleyway, the death trap, as Johnson and Wales try to rotate out. Boom! Luckily they had the res right there. That could have been bad, as Falcon, trying to punish the res, does give their life to the dash. RPI continue their hold. Minute left for Johnson and Wales.
Well, this is good. They're actually drawing out the clock quite well here. Shinobu is very far from an EMP. Most crucially, might not actually get it in time, and that's the big thing. Can RJ get this Dragon Blade here to go? And can they get the team fight that they're looking for? But they've already lost 2 members.
RJ, they are 90% to the blade at 1 health, but they're not going to get a chance to use it. No chance of using any ultimates, but Johnson and Wales are happy to have one of their own as they complete point A. They got the 1 tick they needed, and now they have RPI up against the wall. It was a little bit closer than that full hold that RPI got on Anubis,
but Johnson and Wales have done it. They've forced the map 5, and after how good they are on control, I'm not calling anything. We could see RPI falling to the new champions if RPI are not careful.
And we gotta remember, looking back on the first map of the night here, Kilo, that was the closest map we've had so far. Both maps have been very one-sided, skewing in either direction based on who won, but control, it was close. Even though RPI, for really skilled and disciplined play, brought it back on Legion Garden to win it out, it was still a tight map to begin with. So depending on the choice, depending on what these teams are going to bring to the table for the final map of the series, we are going to see if RPI will receive their third champion and second in a row, or will we see Johnson actually manage to get it done?
Yeah. And we'll be seeing all of that right after this quick break, getting everything set up for this grand finale. So, don't go anywhere. Running for their lives. Trade 1 for 1 right now, an opportunity to re-engage, but at the moment, Johnson and Wales already poised to take a first hit on their attack. Already no chance of tie as they continue this. Not really a full team life, but when these trickle kills keep coming in. And there's Death Blossom, the Nano Blade, Nano Blossom coming out, but they get no value. Instead, they're all grabbed together, and then EMPs, Johnson and Wales, and then none of that ultimate comboing nonsense. Shutting it down with the EMP grab. That's a real ultimate combo. As Nico getting the cleanup, the signature 3K on the Zarya.
Now Cart starts to move. As they get a pick, they can start to look forward. That's a big shatter.
Everyone to their knees right there. As Falcon storms into the third point. Shupak is the only survivor, but not the grab. Perfect positioning. Better than any Maywall because you can't go around it, you can't go below it. As Johnson and Wales grab them out of the point, and they get their 3 points on the board.
And this is why I talked about it when we were on Anubis. It doesn't work with the strong champions right now, but now we have Daddy Phils, who is strong right now, and RJ Port, who is the target for this Dragon Blade when you don't have it on the combo. That's going to be the difficult thing here. And there's the EMP.
The EMP shatter, no less, is RJ. Ooh, I have to assume that's going to be a swap, because there is no way to clutch that out.
They're going to have a few more ults to play with. The Swine, who also is playing Zarya now, is getting closer and closer to that Graviton Surge, but it's tough. Swine hasn't had a whole lot of success on the hero, and so far, if the last couple of minutes have meant anything here, it's been difficult for RPI, and it's only getting worse.
What yet? Because RPI, they still have a chance to lose this. Johnson and Wales stalling up for so long, but Swine, the minefield that we've talked about again and again and again,
6 seconds.
comes out to help the Swine finish out the map.
One, no,
Johnson and Wales is all coming out, but RJ, this clutch Death Blossom at the last second, there's no hack to stop it, and in overtime, they finish King's Row. RJ, they are 90% of the blade at 1 health, but they're not going to get a chance to use it. No chance of using any ultimates, but Johnson and Wales are happy to have one of their own as they complete point A. They got the 1 tick they needed, and now they have RPI up again. It was a little bit closer than that full hold that RPI got on Anubis. But Johnson and Wales have done it. They forced the map 5, and after how good they are on control, I'm not calling anything. We could see RPI falling to the new champion.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!
What's up, guys? I'm Heston, and welcome to Room for Improvement, the show where we take college gamers and transform their living spaces into the ultimate gaming setup.
This is nuts.
Let's get started.
Welcome back, everybody, to the grand finals of ECAC's Overwatch division, where RPI and Johnson and Wales are tied up 2-2, the closest anyone has pushed RPI so far. And Johnson and Wales, they're running hot, but RPI, they did win control last time, so there is a glimmer of hope to stop the reverse.
It's going to be a tough one here, especially with Johnson and Wales just really starting to push RPI to the brink here. They lost to them last year when RPI got their second championship here at ECAC, and that was a difficult match, to say the least, for Johnson and Wales. This time around, Johnson and Wales came to play. This time around, Johnson and Wales might win and deny the repeat and the third championship for RPI that they have been trying to get all night. Now we're going to go to Ilios here as our final control map. And the big questions for me are still pretty much the same. Are we going to see RPI still really try to force RJ onto this Genji? Because it really feels like it hasn't been working outside of the few opportune Nanoblade plays that do work out for them, but it's really difficult to play compositions specifically around ultimate combos like that. Because okay, now we're just gonna wait. All right, here's our ult combo. We win one fight, and then now we're gonna wait. It's not efficient, especially when you have other options.
I definitely would like to see them take the straight up fight, but Beatdown, I actually do have a conspiracy theory for you.
Let me hear it.
Believe that the whole Genji thing is an entire bait, because they're never throwing the nano boost onto Genji. Instead, they just throw the blade out, and Johnson and Wales commit to grab. They commit every cooldown onto dealing with the Genji, and then you throw in the other stuff. I think this might be the big brain from RPI, or Johnson and Wales' peel is just godlike. Either one, because the Genji hasn't been saving them a lot of times, but it has been buying them a lot of space. I just want to see RPI using it better, as we are getting into our final map. Ilios, no chance of a tie this time. It's do or die right now, and both these teams' backs up against the wall. It is time to decide the champion.
Not gonna lie, even though I knew in my brain that you weren't gonna say this, my heart wanted you to say it's time to duel, Kilo. So I'm still sad that you didn't say it. That's all I have to say.
No dueling right now, but we are raffling because we are doing a giveaway right now for a $150 set of HyperX merchandise. So again, check out that link right there. Make sure you enter because it's some top quality stuff. And speaking of top quality stuff, this game.
This game is indeed some top quality stuff here, Kilo. Map 5, back and forth, taking turns, winning rounds. We have a pause coming through. Some tech issues have been reported from what looks to be like RPI's side, but since we're in a pause and we have to kind of sit back, relax, you got to look at our faces again. I'm going to break my golden rule and talk a little bit about the comps we saw before they walk out of spawn. I know. Try to keep your mouth closed. And I know. So, RJ's playing Symmetra, which is something they've commonly done on the side of RPI rather, and it's something they've done to really force their way onto objectives and control and be able to get first dibs on the site. What that means is they end up littering it with turrets, making it so hard for enemies to be able to actually come inside and take control. And that's how they've been able to get a lot of control and win out on a lot of these convincing rounds here. And as long as we don't see any troll swaps coming through, I like this strategy a lot more.
And in general, I actually really like this pick coming out here because a lot of high ground around these points that isn't a common feature in a lot of control maps. It lets them RPI play these sort of very aerial based compositions, hopping around the high grounds. And Johnson and Wales, they either have to play from a disadvantage, play on the back foot, or play RPI's game. And we'll see them start to play that game now.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
As we're getting started, the initial initiations are going to be from that Echo. As that's actually a Moira coming out.
Wait,
right Johnson and Wales committing to the long brawl. I'm telling you, it's all a bait. It's all a bait. The big brain play beatdown. You gotta have faith in me, as they have faith in this Genji. But it is not gonna be enough to save Swine's life. You cannot live on faith alone right there. Swine gonna be forced out. Not really a clean initiation right there. Not that coordinated.
And this time around, it's Robe. Yeah, no, it's Robe this time playing the McCree, and he is just lighting it up right now. As Shinobu is still going to be running the show as the hacker. Sombra already halfway towards that EMP ultimate after just one fight. So things looking good for Johnson and Wales, who managed to come out on top of fight number 1 and already gotten themselves a good 30 seconds of time.
A long-range initiation right there. But Daddy Phil's gonna be playing scared, especially when they don't have their off-tank partner there to support them. But now Swan's unhacked back in the game. Cake going to be duplicating up that high noon. Oh! And Falcon booped out of position just the right time. Good coordination right there. And off that initial pick. Nico, though, looking to turn things around. The blade has to be committed. RJ already has it. Daddy Phil's who gets the kills. Will RJ get a blade kill? Not this time, but it's possible. I've heard of it.
Something spoken of in Legends, but here's something we can talk about too. RPI commit so many of their ultimates just to get a foothold on this point here, Kilo. And yeah, they finally get it, but Johnson and Wales are coming back with some doozies here as Rope has that Deadeye ready to go in Shinobu. Most notably has the EMP, something he's been getting a lot of value of all series long. So we're going to see, I like RPI positioning, but is it enough?
The long-range sleep isn't enough to stop the EMP from now. 5 caught there, but they're able to mitigate most of the damage, and Daddy Fields comes back in and gets both supports, thanks to the damage boost from the good old friend Shopak. That Valkyrie was the perfect ultimate to counter the EMP right there, to let them recover, let them weather the storm, and just like that, RPI holds on.
And now, RPI, that was a crucial fight for them to win, just because of where their ultimates were at. But now that they've managed to stack a few up, managed to get close to tying Johnson Wales in terms of capture percentage, things aren't looking as bad for them. You see a lot of ultimates starting to come through. You see them doing a really good job of getting damage on with Daddy Fills, and now we might see a play from Rogue.
Oh, nope. Instead takes it. I don't really want that. As the slam comes down now from Swine, they're gonna get hacked out of it, but there's still a threat with those twin machine guns. Gonna be helping to finish off, get RJ all these dash resets, as RJ gonna be coming up on the Naked Blade soon.
Is that what we're calling it? Naked Blade?
That's what it's always been called. If you don't have the electric sweater.
I mean, hey, fair enough, man. You got me. And RPI might have Johnson and Wales here. Gonna be able to deny space with that minefield. And now we're gonna see the ults come through.
Oh, RJ, they get the one, but that one might have just been enough. They buy Swine time without that hack in play, but Nico looking to turn things around. They put the grab on the point, and they do get one. Both supports down on the side of RPI. For Johnson and Wales, they need to hold on though. They lost Nico in that exchange, but they're able to force them off the point, and Johnson and Wales get the flip.
And now with Shinobu swapping on the Tracer just for the rush. It's going to be here for some time, hopefully getting a quick pulse bomb here, as we're getting close to Johnson and Wales being one fight away from just winning out the first map here on Ilios Lighthouse. The question's going to be now, RPI, not a whole lot of ults to play with. All eyes are going to be on Z-Hobo and Daddy Fills. Can they get their ults in time?
Building to it so fast, Shopak trying to buy them time, but Swine sends him off the edge! Lucio 2 gone into the sea below, as it's unforgiving right there. This Swine might have just clutched this out, getting the first point on the board in the final map of the ECAC Grand Finals for Overwatch. Urinal Cake says no to any of those stallers coming in. Finally, it will be Lermans making their way to the point. Rogue is able to find one, but I'm not sure that one is enough when these are incredibly staggered respawns, and the dropship is so far away as Swine gets 2 more kills on the closing end of that fight to give their team the 1-0.
And Swine on the signature hero, Wrecking Ball, clutches out in the end here, map 1, round 1, 99-99 here in map 5. Now that is insane. We're 1 round away from seeing whether or not RPI show us a repeat of history to see if they knock down Johnson and Wales once again here in the grand finals, or will Johnson and Wales rewrite it and change these events? Will they be able to come out on top this time here? Nico, Shinobu, the players we keep on talking about here on this squad. We need to see these big plays come through from them, as Shinobu will be still playing that Sombra. So the EMP still have a chance to be very impactful. Oh, I see what you're seeing here. This is interesting composition here. They actually walked out of spawn with it. It is going to be Zarya Sigma, but this comp is very immobile and tough to actually get serious damage out of.
But no protection for Nico, so they're going to go down immediately before they can build up any charge whatsoever, as RPI is rocking the composition that I would have expected from Johnson and Wales. Now,
and because of that, it's an easy first capture here too, as there's just a whole lot for Johnson and Wales to really do. The fight's basically over. They're just getting these cleanup kills now, and this is already going to get more difficult. Falcon swaps over because they realized this was not the play, but losing so much tempo by switching comps after the first fight here is usually not good on control, because now look at the ult charge here on Falcon. 7% versus Daddy Phil's 45. And now that's going to make a difference as time goes on.
look at how much percentage those Shinobu has. If they're able to get a quick EMP here before RPI are expecting it, it could be deadly. It could be the fight turner. They need that now. They can't let Hironoke just slip a bullet through and find Turtle. Now Shupek will go down. Trading supports 1-for-1. As that will be the EMP coming up now. How are they going to use it? Nico already has the grab down. They're looking to get the follow-up, but the wall saves them from the brunt force of the damage. Forcing them back onto the point, and that's the big EMP. That's the fight turner I was talking about. It came at 50%, but it was still enough to let Johnson and Wales get the capture.
And finally, they managed to get out on top. The EMP may not have been as quick as we hoped, but it was enough for them to flip the point. And now only 56% means RPI still have to hold on to the point for a little while, even after flipping it back. But they got a lot of tools to do so here. They're coming back with 5 ultimates, Kilo. As long as they can get through this wall without losing a man, it's possible. It's winning.
Ooh. The Blizzard grab right there buys plenty of time for them to just get rid of that immortality field. A clean team wipe, instant from the side of RPI, not having any of their nonsense.
And it's just that easy. The combo is there. Immortality field be damned, as now the point is once again ticking in favor of RPI. Still, 2 support ults to work with. The only way Johnson and Wales come back in this fight is through a Falcon's Earth Shatter. Can it get any serious value? That is going to be the question.
Falcon looking for their opportunity, looking for the opening that would let Rogue freeze everybody, but no, turn away! The mind game's right there! But Shupak was one step ahead with the sound barrier, canceling out that ultimate, but they were still locked in place, even with the barrier, and that let them get frozen. Daddy Fields goes down. An opportunity right here for them to snowball these kills. Johnson and Wales, they're taking it, and even as RPI arrive at 99%, still looking like a take for the side of Johnson and Wales.
And so much damage from Nico, who has the Graviton Surge, holds onto it crucially, as it's going to be the main tool to win the next fight here for Johnson and Wales University. RPI only have to win one last fight to be your champions here at the ECAC Overwatch. Can they actually finish it off is the question here. And through the Ant Matrix, through the grab that misses, this could be the end.
Ooh, and ECAC looking for that one pick. It's not going to hit home as Daddy Phils is arriving to the shatter of their own. A lot of ultimates coming online for the side of RPI. Can they manage to do it? Comes the freight train coming in hot. They need to find the opportunity though. Johnson and Wales isn't going to give it up for free.
It's so
they
big.
Go for the shatter through there. They find Lerman. The one person with the sound barrier doesn't reach Falcon with Shinobu. They get the Deadeye at the last second and find Zobo. That could be huge. Ooh, Shinobu. Amazing clutch right there.
Oh, and insane. When the grab with Shinobu says, hold my drink, manages to keep things going, and now the stall tactics come out here. We're 10 seconds out from a tying of the store, going to the absolute farthest we can in this series, as RPI are rushing back to the point to try and see if they can hold it down. Overtime was started, but it cost Shupak his life.
We're sending Nico off the side there, though. That's good.
He got him!
RPI, that's a big opening, not having to deal with that clutch player in overtime here. We've seen RPI come back from crazier overtime situations, and they see
Shinobu, he's down!
Just at the nick of time. The grab goes down to the center of the point, baiting Johnson and Wales to come back in, but they say no. As the flip comes out, overtime is expiring, and Johnson and Wales cannot get to the point. RPI for the third time, the three-peat. They are your ECAC Overwatch champions. Johnson and Wales, they gave them a run for their money, but they could not stand up to the might, to the experience that RPI brought to the table.
And not only that, they did it twice in a row against Johnson and Wales themselves. An insanely clutch team fight coming out from RPI to be able to win things out in the end there, to be able to weather the storm of the fact that they were supposed to lose that one down in ultimates. Really powerful plays coming out from the side of Johnson and Wales, but it's all on Urinal Cake. The fact that he gets the knockoff on Nico, the environmental kill, means you lose so much damage, so much shielding on the side of Johnson and Wales Blue, and just like that, that fight was winning for RPI.
Mm-hmm. And I think overall the story of RPI is winning fights that they were supposed to lose. That's the kicker. Think of the last point on Kings Row. Even though they didn't win that map, they still managed to get all the way through in overtime. And on Lijiang Tower, were at 99-0, and all of a sudden they came back and did exactly what they did on Ilios. And of course, you just saw Ilios. You know exactly what Johnson and Wales just experienced. RPI, unwilling to give up anything, the determination, the fire of a champion. That is what carried them all the way here.
That it did, and congrats to RPI once again becoming the ECAC Overwatch champions. Johnson, you got to give props to Johnson and Wales Blue, though, taking it to map 5, almost the furthest it could have possibly gone there, almost taking us to a round 3 on Ilios, but still not quite there. Couldn't quite get over the top, but still, really banger job for them on this night.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta ask, Beatdown, any players in particular you want to highlight? Because I know I've got a couple.
Probably Urinal Cake. I think the first map and the last map don't get one if not for him, especially with how well he plays at Doomfist.
Mm-hmm. And I'm right there with you with Swine. Because think about it. Johnson and Wales had an entire Sombra composition just to deal with Swine.
Yeah.
That's how powerful that Wrecking Ball is. And after that clutch at the end of point A of Ilios, I think they earned a consideration right there for one of our most valuable players. As we are going to go to a quick break now. When we return, we're getting a little more insight into how exactly RPI pulled off this victory. Swine's unhacked back in the game. Cake going to be duplicating up that high noon. Oh, and Falcon booped out of position just the right time. Good coordination right there. And off that initial pick. Nico, though, looking to turn things around. The blade has to be committed. RJ already has it. Daddy Phils who takes the kills. Will RJ get a blade kill? Not
a really good job of getting damage on with Daddy Phils. And now we might see a play from Rogue.
Oh, nope. Instead kicks in. I don't really want that. As the slam comes down now.
Not a whole lot else to play with. All eyes are going to be on Z-Hobo and Daddy Phils. Can they get their ult in time?
Building to it so fast. Shupak trying to buy them time, but Swine sends him off the edge. For Lucio 2 goals. These incredibly staggered respawns, and the dropship is so far away as Swine gets 2 more kills on the closing end of that fight to give their team the 1-0. How are they going to use it? Nico already has the grab down. They're looking to get the follow-up, but the wall saves them from the brunt force of the damage. Forcing them back onto the point, and that's the big EMP. That's the fight Turner I was talking about. It came at 50%, but it was still enough to let Johnson and Wales get the capture.
And without losing a man, it's possible. It's winning.
Ooh. The Blizzard grab right there buys plenty of time for them to just get rid of that immortality field. A clean team wipe, instant from the side of RPI, not having any of their nonsense. Rogue freeze everybody, but no, turn away. The mind games right there. But Shupak was one step ahead with the sound barrier, canceling out that ultimate, but they were still locked in place, even with the barrier, and that let them get frozen. Daddy Fields goes down. An opportunity right here for them to snowball these kills. Johnson and Wales, they're taking it, and even as RPI arrive at 99%, still looking like a tape for the side of Johnson and Wales. For the opportunity, though, Johnson and Wales isn't going to give it up for free.
Oh, it's so big!
The shatter through there. They find Lerman. The one person with the sound barrier doesn't reach Falcon with Shinobu. They get the Deadeye at the last second and find Zobo. That could be huge. Ooh, Shinobu, amazing clutch right there.
Oh, an insane when the grab with Shinobu says hold.
Fine. The
RPI. That's a big opening, not having to deal with that clutch player in overtime here. We've seen RPI come back from crazier overtime situations, and they see
JWU, he's down.
just at the nick of time. The grab goes down to the center of the point, baiting Johnson and Wales to come back in, but they say no. As the flip comes out, overtime is expiring, and Johnson and Wales cannot get to the point. RPI for the third time, the three-peat. They are your ECAC Overwatch champions. Johnson and Wales, they gave them a run for their money, but they could not stand up to the might, to the experience that RPI brought to the table.
And not only that, they did it twice in a row against Johnson.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!
What's up, guys? I'm Heston, and welcome to Room for Improvement, the show where we take college gamers and transform their living spaces into the ultimate gaming setup.
This is nuts.
Let's get started.
We are back, everybody, after an amazing 3-2 grand finals in the end of the ECAC Overwatch division that resulted in RPI being crowned champions for the third time over Johnson and Wales. And they put up a good fight. But to get a little bit more insight into how that fight went, we have an interview with RJ from RPI. How you doing, RJ?
Good. How are you guys? Feeling a little,
We're doing
little
great.
tired.
We're doing great, and
it's probably been a day, huh?
Certainly has been a day. You know, that was a really tough fight from JWU. You guys did really, really well, and we all fought our hardest, and came up just this much ahead.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta ask, were you expecting Johnson and Wales to put up that much of a fight? Because they really pushed you all to your limits.
We were definitely expecting a significant resistance. We played them actually during the regular season for a 3-1 victory. So we were hoping something along the lines of that way, but then these guys really put in their work. They obviously did their homework, researched our comps, and really put up a better fight than in the midseason. So we were surprised, but also pleasantly surprised. We got a really good game out of it. So.
Okay, so the thing I'm wondering about too is, so you have these rounds, especially when you guys are playing control, that you are behind. Like I'm talking 99-0 sometimes. How do you guys keep it cool, regain, and play so carefully so that you can actually mount these comebacks? Like, what are the comms like in these situations?
Well, I won't lie. Our comms are pretty hectic. We had a lot of people yelling today, myself included. But when it's 99-0, we're staring down the kind of almost the end of the game. We kind of stay focused by focusing on ult management. What are we going to use now? what can we build to, and where can we go next. That kind of pathway to get us maybe one fight, which might be 2 fights, which could be 3 fights, and then boom, maybe it's just maybe it's the map.
Nice, love that. And then the second thing I wanted to ask too is this is definitely more of a me thing. You guys, it was actually ended up being you specifically. You guys played that Genji quite a lot. It was a handful of maps where sometimes it looked good and sometimes it didn't. What's the thought process there, especially on a map like King's Row, for example?
So personally speaking, I play a lot of Genji. He's, I would say, probably my signature hero. He's who I have the most time on. So when we're down, sometimes it's nice to go into a comfort pick to see. You know, I've played this character a lot. I know them, and even if they're not theoretically the best, he's my best. So that's kind of what we're thinking. And sometimes it works, and then as you said, sometimes it didn't. But luckily, I have my team to kind of fall back on. So when I'm not doing well, they pick up the slack and really help me forward.
Nice.
And obviously your team carried you all to the victory this time again. So now that you have 3 ECAC titles under your belt, how are you feeling moving on from this tournament?
It feels really good to get that 3, and we're hoping to continue that legacy. You know, I know we've got a couple seniors who are moving out, a couple freshmen looking to join in, so hopefully we can continue that tradition of kind of getting everyone in, focused up onto our culture, and you know, keep moving forward and hopefully keep progressing with the ACAC, which is a great organization. Thank you again for the tournament.
Thank you for playing, and thank you for giving us a great show, and thank you for now for coming to do this interview. But I think that's all we got for you. Any last people you want to shout out while you got the mic?
Thank you again to my team, Daddy Phil's, Swine, Aiden on Urinal Cake. We've got Nico on Hobo and Shupak. You guys all did amazing. You really carried me today, as well as happy birthday to my dad.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, RJ's dad.
Yeah. Got him the victory birthday present. And honestly, great thing right there. So again, thank you very much for this interview, and to all the viewers out there, thank you very much for watching these ECAC Grand Finals. It's been a spectacular show. A lot of ups and downs depending on which side you're on, but a lot of content for both these teams. I just want to thank, as always, all of our amazing production staff behind the scenes, and of course, Beatdown Boulevard, helping me get through this amazing game. Any last comments, Beatdown?
Just once again, shout out Johnson and Wales. Great matchup, a lot better than they did last time they played RPI last year. So the really good performance. I can't wait to see what they do in the future.
Be sure to tune in for future ECAC seasons. We got all sorts of games coming out here. It's an amazing program, so be sure to be back here next season, and we'll see if RPI can do anything more than the 3-time. But for now, I have been Keelan Miles, casting with Beatdown Boulevard. I hope you all have a spectacular night.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Attention, all gamers. Start your engines!